Leche. Get 'em, Jimmy, where Loshak at? The bottle's getting nippy up the Kraken. We stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
Hey, yo, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. This is Loshak and the Bag Show for Tuesday. What month is 5? Oh, yeah, May 2nd, 2023. His name's Jimmy the Bag. My name's Peter Loshak. We've had a fun time this year. Ever since Pubapalooza 2, the fun has continued, at least for me. It hasn't hurt that my picks overall have been going quite well since Pubapalooza 2. That, of course, can stop on a dime at any moment, but I have confidence for today's card. It's, all baseball. We got definitely some interesting stuff in terms of handicapping for the NHL and NBA playoffs. I'm looking forward to capping the cappers for those games. And, life chugs on. Life chugs on. This crazy thing that we call life continues to spin. This world, this tiny little world that we live on continues to spin around. Jimmy the Bag, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. The furnace went out here right after the Sunday night live stream, and it's cold in Canada. It's cold in the house, very cold. And we just had a guy come and look at it, and we're 2 or 3 days away from heat. So,
yeah.
And next week it warms up, but this week it's cold. So,
life was not meant to be easy. Life was not meant to be fun. People were not meant to be happy. Just remember, no, that's all bullshit. People love to say that, but that's all bullshit. I'm sorry you're having eating issues, Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Because we have been very hot. The low baggers in the chat have been very hot. You also called Devils Rangers in 7 games, and you gave out the Rangers in Game 6 from the rooftop in Brooklyn for our friend Mike Nutflush Allen's birthday.
Thank God. You know what I mean? Thank God that one cash. Thank God that one cash.
That was beautiful. I am running nice. We swept the week. I feel like it's all coming together. But this is the time of year. This is my best time of year. Playoffs in the NBA and NHL and MLB. But I feel like I'm. Last year was my first full year with a certain system, and it got off to sort of a rough start, but I've cleaned that up. And I feel like at this point in the year, this is about the earliest I've ever felt really locked in baseball. So I'm excited to cap the baseball card. I find the baseball card difficult. I know that there's a couple spots that are going to jump out to everybody, and they jumped out at me as well. Joe Ryan on the Twins, of course, and then Tyler Wells on the Orioles. Both those road teams have 98% of the cash bet on them thus far. And not a very big line move towards him. That does not appeal to me. I have doubled up on one game, but it was so cold. I was up at 5 a.m, and I worked late capping, but I got up at 5 a.m. and capped. And so I've been staring at, with all the work done, going over the line moves, going over everything for all these games for a while. And there was only one that was good enough for me to bet at this point, a double up there. I can't wait to talk about NHL. I'm very, very excited about this next round of the playoffs. All the teams that won the Stanley Cup in the last 15 years have been eliminated. So got some, new blood in the second round of the playoffs. I'm excited to talk about everything. We also had Dan Kelly right off the top saying, I thought you guys would have been, Knicks -6.5. And he says, I'll be surprised if the Knicks line isn't 10 by tip-off. Likely no color. So the Heat have nothing. And I've been saying all season that the Knicks are the deepest team in the league. So we have tons to talk about, lots of work to do, and we want to keep the winners coming in. Shout out to Dan Kelly, Viper MB, Rick J, Andrew G, Mr. Vape, Razor Sharp Picks. Of course, with the $5,000 bet on the Sixers to win it all, pays out $60K, Pete, $60K. Justin McElvey, Jedi for Life, Ryan Mueller, Jay Smooth, Billy Friedrich, D. Jenkins, Troy Torrance, Subhuman, Gaucho, Saturated. There's Nutflush Allen, Serious Business, Rocco Rogers, Jedi for Life, Dav Fenn, Von Polo, Jorge Don't Play, TNT, Sean Sullivan, Jay Peasy. What a great group. Thank you guys all for running with us today. Guillermo Zertucci, it's Kentucky Derby week. It's Kentucky Derby week. I'm now a mess with the Derby. I've got 7 horses. Obviously, you can't go into a race with 7 horses. I was really hoping, I know this is, but I was hoping that the post positions would come out. One of my horses would be on the 18th or 19th or 20th, and I could just cut them. That did not happen. They got really nice post positions, so I don't know. I've got lots of work to do. Browns Hughes ready to get to work. A diehard MMA podcast. UFC 288. Kong Gracie plus 155. Jen Roba plus 110. Santos minus 165. Muhammad plus 110. And a parlay with Williams and Ivloev. And he gave us his best bet of 2023. And I bet it, Pete, and watched it with my brother-in-law, and it cashed very easily. Song Yadong. So shout out to Clint in the house. Red Girl back in action. Red Girl back in action. We've missed her dearly. She'd be rolling with us. Hunter Engelhart. He's on the White Sox first half money line. White Sox score first. I get it. I absolutely get it. There's North Ender. Mike Wilkerson. We got a great group, Pete. And I cherish the opportunity to cap with you here every Tuesday. I cherish the opportunity to cap with this chat Tuesday to Friday. And I'm just really, really excited, man.
Sorry about being a little bit late. We had to set up the lighting and everything, but thanks for everyone for hanging with us. Hell yeah.
Oh, man, I'm excited. Let's get to work.
Get
to work and head to the National Hockey League, Pete. So I was down 16 units. I said, I'm going to be in the black. It's playoff time. I'm going to be in the black. So right now, down 3.99 units. I'm almost there, Pete. Hit 17 on my last 23 in the playoffs, plus 11.23 units. And I know I'm going to keep cashing. I know I am. I don't think I am. I know I am. But I'm still, upset and embarrassed with the regular season that, wasn't, up to my expectations. So just getting into the black is not like a huge deal. I know a lot of cappers are in the black in NHL, and God bless them. But it's a place I want to be real badly, Pete. Let's get to work. 7 p.m. East, second round, game 1. Florida Panthers, Toronto Maple Leafs, Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. Take it away. Set the table.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, we're running a little bit behind, so I'm reading some of these comments here. I might read that book that you're reading there, Billy Friedrich. Billy Friedrich always hits me up with better lines than I quote, and now he's hitting me up with a book that he's reading. Maybe I'll read that one, Billy Friedrich. All right. Florida, Toronto. Geez, I don't fucking know, Jimmy the Bag. I mean, Toronto doesn't feel like this is going to be a. I know some people were saying that Toronto acting like they won the Super Bowl when they got that win over Tampa Bay. I don't know though. Toronto. I think Toronto still is going to have a chip on their shoulder. Florida, of course, though, it was Birdie who clued us in that the excellent play from Florida was not unexpected in light of the turnaround that we saw from them late at the end of the year. I'm thinking that maybe, I don't know, it's either, obviously it's either like 2 tough teams where the dog line is just too big, or even though it's a playoffs, a little bit of a letdown spot, and Toronto is on a mission, and so taking them, Toronto -1 might be the way to go. I'm leaning Toronto -1, Jimmy the Bag, but definitely want to hear what everyone else has to say first.
Yeah, I get it. There's Razor talking about our 2 days, 23 hours, 1 minute away from our Friday Kentucky Oaks live stream here. Jose, can you grab the thumbnails that you created so beautifully so we can show them at some point? Dad Fan says, I know Canucks are your team, but did you think Toronto would be headed for possible finals, maybe even Lord Stanley Cup? But, I was a little surprised too, North Ender, that they are the odds-on favorite to win the Stanley Cup. They've been through enough pain here. I still want them to lose, but they've been through enough pain. Let's talk about this spot here. Sergei Bobrovsky and Ilya Samsonov. Samsonov seemed so locked in. I think that was the big question. And, man, you could see in Game 7 that when the camera went over to him, he was just so focused. I was like, oh, sometimes you can just tell when a goaltender is on. He was very good. This year in the regular season, he was very good. I don't know why we expect anything different. And I did expect something different because he had a terrible playoff record. That was the reason why he was available for $1.8 million for 1 year. 27, 10, and 5 in the regular season, 2.33 goals against average, 919, save percentage, 4 shutouts. In the playoffs, he just has a 900 save percentage. But, he got lit up early, and he seemed very locked in late in that series. Bobrovsky, I just don't see a world where he can beat you. Sure, they went on a winning streak with him in net, but 3.94 goals against average, 891 save percentage in the playoffs, 901 save percentage in the regular season. Is he a step up off of, Lyon? I don't know. I don't think so. Florida had a 25% power play in the playoffs, 59.3% penalty killing. That's going to hurt them badly. And they struggled winning faceoffs against the Bruins, but the Bruins were the second best team in faceoffs in the regular season. Now they're playing the Leafs, who were fourth. So it's going to be another uphill climb possession-wise. And these Leafs believe in themselves here. Neither of these teams have been in the conference finals since 2002. Florida hasn't been to the conference finals since 1996. You remember Scott Mellenby and the Rats. Panthers are 10-4-1 over the last 15 games. Toronto went 3-0-1 against the Panthers this season. 5 of the last 6 games between these teams have gone to overtime. Matthews, 5 goals in 4 games for Toronto. Montour looks awesome. He had 5 points. And, Tkachuk, I think, second best player in the NHL. And, with all that being said, I don't really want to be involved in game ones. But one of these games, I'm forced to be involved. This one, I'm not. So I don't, I expect Toronto to look very good here, but I don't think the Panthers are emotionally drained. I think both teams are going to be ready to go here. I think the Panthers are going to be ready to keep it rolling and then super pumped up. So this just doesn't appeal to me from a spot to, from a betting spot. It just doesn't, do I want Leafs big favorite at -1? I don't. And so I'm not going to get involved. In saying that, I'm heavily involved in the next game. And it's just worked for me not betting game ones. Toronto opens up at -152. They're now -163, an 11-cent move towards them at Pinnacle. This total opened up at 6.5, -111 to the over. There's been an 8-cent move to the over. I'm sorry to put you guys to sleep, but I need to be in the black here, and I need to keep winning in NHL, and I need my bankroll to be right for the Derby, and this just doesn't appeal to me, Pete.
Mm-hmm. And you don't think this is definitely not one of those auto plays on the first period under, right?
Definitely not.
No,
definitely not. No. Although those have been spectacular in the playoffs, but some of the defensive teams that we love first period unders with are gone.
Right.
And I'm just not, look, there's so many advantages in games 2 and in games 4. Mm-hmm. So many advantages. And I want those advantages. I want them badly. I want to make money, and I want them badly. And Slatsy says, he says he doesn't really see how game 1 plays out, but he's on the Stars and looking at the Kraken team total under. So look, here, this is a spot that I don't want to be involved in, Pete. I'm sorry to start the show off.
I'm not going to make a pick on this, but capping you, Jimmy the Bag, I'm thinking that, it's just like the Bruins series, Florida getting a little bit disrespected. Not that Toronto isn't as good as what they think they are and what we think they are, but that Florida's getting a little bit disrespected. And again, it definitely feels like the game's going to go down to the wire, and probably at +140, Florida has a little bit of value. That's just my take on this.
I think that's a valid take. I think that's a valid take. I think that both teams are going to sort of be feeling good about themselves and playing freewheeling hockey. I want to watch it. I want to cap it. I want to watch it. I want to study it. We have a big group of people coming. I don't know if we are now because it's going to be freezing cold in the house, but there was a plan for the big game tonight at 7 to watch here. So, shout out to Tony Cobbs with the $10 dono, blessing our action. Tony, my man, that means a ton to us. Yeah, I'm not interested, Pete, but I can't wait to talk about the next game.
Oh, Ron Crawford, though, NHL spreadsheet play of the day, Toronto regulation.
Yeah, I can understand how the numbers would push you in that direction. So that Ron's look makes a ton of sense to me.
All right, I guess I'll pass. Initially, when I was coming in, I was thinking that maybe I pulled the trigger on Toronto -1 and seeing that Crawford has spreadsheet play of the day. But then listening to you, Cap and you, it's all right. I'll just pass for now. Shout out to Ron Rees. Shout out to Derek Finn.
Lucas Ryan says, if you can find a line for Luke Shen hits, I would take that over to the bank. Luke Shen, what a difference maker he's been. What a huge difference maker. There was, a dirty hit by the Leaf in Game 3, and all of the vets on the Lightning were beaking off at the Leafs bench, and it was Luke Shen that stood right front and stared at all of them while they did it. He changes the dynamic. Now, McCabe is a pretty tough defenseman too, but he makes mistakes. But I think it's still worth having him out there because of his toughness. But Luke Shen is everything that you could ever want in a defenseman. I think he's valuable beyond measure. He's worth more than he gets paid, and any winning team needs a player like Luke Shen, on their team. So I love it. But let's move on to Game 2. I can't wait to talk about this one. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, West second round, Game 1. Seattle Kraken 46-28-8, 26-11-4 on the road at Dallas Stars, 47-21-14, 22-10-9 at home. American Airlines Center, Dallas, Texas. Take it away, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, this one I guess feels the same as the other one, although I don't know, maybe a little bit more of a letdown for Seattle. I'm not sure. This one can't take a first period under here because Dallas definitely sometimes comes out hot offensively. I guess I was feeling the same way. I guess I have nothing. I mean, obviously, Seattle has quote unquote depth, which is how they got past Colorado. I mean, it's a very impressive series. I wasn't following it that closely, but very impressive to knock off that team. Dallas, though, getting Pavelski back, and it seems like Ottinger is just you got a quality team with one of those goalies who's who could carry a team that maybe didn't have the pieces that Dallas quite has right now. So I don't know. Again, coming into this one, I was thinking Dallas -1, maybe. Wanting to hear what you have to say.
I see a lot of cappers on Seattle to continue rolling here, and I don't want to. You don't want to talk anybody off of a dog, but this is the best possible situation for the Dallas Stars and the single worst situation for the Seattle Kraken. They just beat a team that was 26th in faceoffs. As I said, Seattle 31st. And Seattle lost the puck possession battle. This is Seattle's worst nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be on the Dallas Stars -1 in every game in the series. I thought about taking them 4-0 or 4-1. I don't think it's necessary. I did put another $500 bet on Dallas to win the series. -185. I don't care. This is as sure of a thing in my estimation as I've seen in a series. Maybe ever. That's how confident I am in the Dallas Stars. Not break down why. Yes, Grubauer is playing out of his mind, and he could steal things. 926 save percentage. He's stepping up. He could have a 940 save percentage, and the Kraken are going to lose this series. Ottinger can play at the level of the best goaltender in the NHL, so I don't think that even against Grubauer, if he's playing out of his mind, I don't think that there's going to be an advantage for the Kraken between the pipes. In the regular season, by the way, in the playoffs, Ottinger had better numbers than Gruby in that first round, 929 save percentage. So I can go over, the Seattle 14.3% power play. Now they're going up against the third best penalty killing in the league, so it'll be even worse this round. The Dallas Stars power play was at 37.5% against the Minnesota Wild, who were missing Joel Eriksson-Ek, but they won 56.3% of the faceoffs in the series. So Dallas went 2-1 versus Seattle in the regular season. I took a long look at those three games. The first time they met, Dallas won 4-3 in overtime. Dallas won 31 of 55 faceoffs. They met again 2 nights later in Seattle. Dallas won 5-2. In that one, they won 32 of 54 faceoffs. Dallas's lone loss to Seattle came at home on the first game back from a 7-game road trip, 5-4 in overtime. Even in the loss, They won 33 of 55 faceoffs. They out-hit them, and they outshot them. Joe Pavelski returns to the squad after missing the last 5 games of the Wild Series with a concussion. But back to these 3 games that were just played. Dallas won 96 faceoffs and lost just 68. Dallas is going to have puck possession throughout this entire series. Pavelski returns, and DeBoer moves him on to the second line. I love that. So now Pavelski is with Max Domi and Mason Marchment. If there's ever any concern, if they ever need a spark, they can move Pavelski up to that first line. But why take Seguin off of that line when he is as hot as we've seen him in 5 years? So Seguin's going to stay on that top line. You have Ben on the third line. So Ottinger has a .945 save percentage and a 1.83 goals against average in 15 career playoff games. Now Seattle's going to have to struggle for puck possession. Yes, the Kraken are a deep team and a good team. I'm not entirely sure why Ron Francis didn't do something to fix their faceoff woes. I'm not entirely sure, but they tied the NHL record with 15 different goal scorers against Colorado. That's the fifth team ever to have that many goal scorers in opening round series. They don't have Jared McCann. So Johnny K says Colorado had puck possession too. Yes. So imagine now against the best face-off team in the entire league. If you saw Colorado with puck possession as the 26th best face-off team in the entire league, this is just a nightmare situation for the Kraken. The Kraken would have a better chance against Vegas or Edmonton, truly, than Dallas. This is just the worst possible matchup for Dallas, and Seattle's season is over. And there's a lot of people riding the Seattle train, and God bless you guys and good luck, and I hope you guys get cash. But I'm on Dallas -1 here. I'm on Dallas to win this series. When Dallas is up 2-0 going back to Seattle, I'll be on Dallas again in Game 3.
That's okay, Jim. Also, the one play that I did have that I missed was no goal for Seattle in the first period.
Sorry, I was looking at the chat. Can you hit me with that again?
I said the one play that I wrote down here as a possibility with a question mark is no goal for Seattle in the first period.
Yeah, what does that pay?
That's -104 at Pinnacle right now.
See, there's nothing I dislike about it, but I mean, in the second period of the Avalanche Kraken game, we cashed enough on the over 2.5s in the Bruins game. We're betting live, and I was like, look at this game; it's so defensive. So I took no goal first 10 minutes, second period, and under 1.5 in the second period, and a goal bounced in off of a player's glove 6 minutes into the period.
Right.
I don't like. Yeah, like I like the look, but if I have all of these advantages, then I want 60 minutes.
And so what do you think about just Seattle full game team total under?
That's what Slatsy's talking about, So TJ says, didn't Seattle jump out to a lead in every game? Look, Colorado was as in shambles in that series. They were in complete shambles. It was wild seeing the defending Stanley Cup champion in shambles, and McKinnon talking about it publicly as if he knew it. So, look, you never want to talk anybody off of a dog, but this is just a horrific matchup for the Kraken. It couldn't be worse. It couldn't be worse. And the Kraken are live. They're live. I just wish they had a different matchup. They're not live against the Dallas Stars.
Okay, I'm going to make 2 plays official here, Jim. You ready?
Yeah.
Dallas -1, -107. Current line at Heritage, actually. And also at Heritage, Seattle team total under 2.5, -120. Current line at Heritage as well. And I'm thinking about tripling up with Seattle first period, no score. But you're right. I mean, flukiness can happen there. But when Dallas is going well, they're playing strong defensively, and then they got Ottinger in goal, right? I mean, that's just they're a strong defensive team regardless of Ottinger, right?
No.
Not
really. Not as strong as that. If you were looking for a weak spot, they don't have those the Luke Shen type stay-at-home defensemen that are extremely helpful. So Seattle's speed can get to the defense. And, you're going to ask Heiskanen to play 30 minutes. So if there was any spot that would make me a little uncomfortable in the matchup, would be Seattle's speed at forward against Dallas's
All right.
defense.
I won't triple up. Just those two plays, Dallas -1 and Seattle team total under. I was thinking about Dallas -1 as well before we came in, before I heard what you had to say. I was also thinking Toronto -1, but I'll pass on that one. I'll pull the trigger on Dallas, though.
And Ron saying Kraken, great road team. Look, the Kraken are a really good hockey team. It's just, this is the worst conceivable matchup they could possibly have. And they've already shown that in the regular season, that this is just the worst case scenario matchup. That's all. The Kraken are a good team, but there's nothing that's going to be easier for the There's no team in the playoffs that's a better matchup for the Stars than the Kraken, including all the teams that were knocked out in the first round. This is perfect. Perfect. So,
okay.
Yeah. There you have it. So Seattle team total under 2.5 -120. Loshak's on the Stars -1. I'm on the Stars -1, and I took the Kraken to win the series. And I have to call if I want to bet more than $500 on a spot. So it's generous, and I kind of like it. It's with my bankroll, it should be my limit, and so for a single bet. But I thought of taking them on the series -1.5 and getting cute and all that stuff. But let's just ensure that you're getting paid, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm just ensuring that I'm getting paid. I mean, I could take another look at the -1.5. I mean, if this goes to 7 games, then I'm just wrong. So maybe I should put a unit size on the Stars -1.5 in the series. You know what? I'll just take a very quick look and see what that would cost here. -1.5, but that's about the only thing. Series handicap. Let's see what it is here. The -1.5 here is, all right, pull this up. Sorry, take a second here. -1.5 plus 105. Yeah,
Ron Crawford does like Seattle +1 though.
Oh no, that's great. And I don't look. That's great. This is not a competition. I want us to succeed, and you also don't want to talk anybody off of a dog,
right?
But I play hockey all my life, and the most difficult situations that you can face are when you can't win the draw. It just so yes, you have a speed advantage. Yes, you have momentum. Yes, you have all these things going for you, but you can't win the fucking draw. So you finally, your hard work, you draw a penalty with all your hard work, and you immediately lose the draw, and they shoot it out of the zone. I mean, it's just it's so frustrating. And if Seattle thinks they felt that against the 26th best team in faceoffs in the National Hockey League, wait till they play the best team in the National Hockey League in faceoffs.
Slatsy says he saw the Grubauer interview after the Colorado game, said he was gassed. 1 day off, back at it versus rested Stars. Slatsy says Stars -1 is the call. All right, we'll see.
I'm very excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. This series is going to be a lot of fun just from a capping perspective. Johnny K says Seattle can win at home. What I would like to do the most is bet Dallas in Game 3 once they're up 2-0. Because a lot of people will be thinking Seattle's going to take care of business at home, where they weren't a good home team this year. But we'll talk all about that. Von Polo liking the +1. Go after it. You're in good company with Ron Crawford. And, I'm excited. I think this is one of those spots where, I thought about calling Dan up and saying I'd like to.
Hey, shout out to Billy Friedrich. This is for you, Billy. Hello, my friend. Billy Friedrich. You're my friend. You are my friend, Billy Friedrich. Hello, Billy Friedrich.
And Spenny says, look at Vegas when they became an expansion team. These teams are your regular expansions. They're taking experienced guys, playoff time under their belt, and have come together so well. Yeah, no, this is the perfect situation to get a legit number on the Stars. It's perfect. They played a team that was in complete shambles, but they were the defending Stanley Cup champions. That's the reason why we're getting this number. And look, the Kraken are playing great hockey, but you take their best scorer, their best forward, their best Corsi forward off of the team, and then you bring the Stars with rest, bringing Pavelski back. It's going to be fun. And
all right, we got it. We got it.
If the Kraken win game 1, which they're more than capable of doing, I'll just come back even harder.
And that's the most important thing. As I put these bets in, I'm thinking to myself, if Seattle wins, will I still feel good about the bets I made? Absolutely. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. Man Bear Pig says, my random guess is Kraken takes an early 2-0 lead and Stars will be tested to come back.
Yeah,
all
go ahead.
Possible. All possible, but puck possession is very, very, very difficult to overcome. Let's move on to MLB. In review in NHL, we both stayed off of Florida, Toronto, but NHL spreadsheet play today is Toronto regulation. Pete and I are both on the Stars -1. Pete's on Seattle team total under 2.5 -120, and I'm on the Dallas Stars to win the series -185, which could also be a parlay piece if anybody wanted to use it. Let's roll on to MLB. Pete, are you ready to get to work?
Yeah.
Pete, you have been nothing short of exceptional this season. You on our show, and that's not just fortunate that your Tuesdays have been better than other days. You've just been succeeding in baseball. Here on our show, you're 22-13, 62.9% plus 9.74 units with an ROI plus 27.83% average line -101. The sweet sounds of the Brooklyn Police. Pete, could you let everybody know who wasn't with us on Sunday night, though, how you're succeeding and what you're succeeding with and what you're just doing average with?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Could you let the people know that weren't with us on Sunday night exactly which areas you are succeeding with in MLB?
Oh, yeah, sure. So basically, of course, sports betting is changing along with the rest of the world right now. And, of course, the new rules in baseball are changing. Historically, I've always been great with totals and praying for 50% on sides. This year in baseball, it's totally the opposite. After yesterday, which was a disaster for me in baseball, I'm basically I'm a little bit less than 50% on totals, but killing it on sides. Let me do a little bit of math here very, very quickly. I'm in MLB so far this year, down 15.5 units on totals, but wait for it on sides. On sides, I am up 34.5 units. So overall, up about 20 units in baseball, all from sides, and slightly under 50% on totals. So we're going to try to maintain the edge on sides and somehow get a little bit better with totals. It's an interesting season, Jimmy the Bag.
It sure is. And we are very fortunate to cap with you. We're very fortunate to cap with many of you in the chat as well. So I'm really excited. TJ says ironic because this year he's 60% on total, slightly up on sides. Razor, I love it. Sides for a minute. I thought Jim was back in Parkdale. No. And there's Sharpie in the house. We have such a great group. So let's get right to work, Pete. I'll set the table and hand it over to you. I have I've doubled up on one game. Unfortunately, it's the very last game on the card. So it'll take us a while to get there. 6:40 p.m. Eastern, Atlanta Braves 19-10, 12-3 on the road at the Miami Marlins, 16-13, 10-6 at home. We're at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Bryce Elder going up against Sandy Alcantara. Now, Sandy Alcantara and Elder each just faced the opposition. They just faced each other. In that game, it was a 6-4 win for these Braves. It was at Atlanta. Elder has had a good season so far, really good. If you look at his season, very, very good. 2-0, 2.17 ERA, 1.21 whip, 26 Ks, 9 walks. He's allowed 3 home runs in 29 innings. He allowed all 3 of those home runs in the 5 1/3 he was in against Miami 5 days ago. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 homers, 3 Ks, 2 walks. Sandy Alcantara, last year's National League Cy Young winner, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, 3 walks. The loss wasn't on him. And he has struggled a little bit this year, but we know what he's capable of. 5.04 ERA, 1.15 whip. There's the big Ragu in the house. He will be our MLB expert tomorrow. And love having him here in the chat. TNT says Alcantara over 7 Ks. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Or do I already have it up? No. Okay, line history here for this one. We have Elder and the Braves opening up at plus 106. They're now plus 119. So a 13-cent move in the opposite direction, 13-cent move for the Marlins. From a total perspective, this opened up at 8 and is now at 7.5. So basically, they're telling us that there's an expectation that both pitchers look good today, especially last year's Cy Young Award winner. When we go to the cash flow and the total, for the cash flow, 51% of the tickets are on the Marlins and 76% of the cash. For the total, 65% of the tickets, 72% of cash are on the over, which is a surprise as we've seen the market move towards the under. Jorge, don't play likes the Nerfy on this one. Mike M says, great Nerfy price. Atlanta's a road dog versus NL East is 4-0 to the no-run first inning. Bleds W looking at the no-run first inning. TJ says Miami 3-12-1 to the under at home. And Man Bear Pig says, how can I ignore Braves plus money in a get-right spot? So Braves versus righties, 238, 754 OPS. Marlins versus righties, 237, 670 OPS. Marlins bullpen, 4.60 ERA, 1.25 whip. Braves bullpen, 4.07 ERA, 1.17 whip. Didn't have a very good week. Take it away for us here. Pistol Pete Loshak, Braves, Marlins.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like unders in always. No run in the first, full game under, first 3 under, first 5 under. Obviously, the issue is what's up with Alcantara. Based on how I look at things, I think this is more likely than not to be an okay spot for them. I also believe that Acuna is out, right, or not, or I believe he might be out for the Braves, which is he got hit in the shoulder yesterday, so I'm not sure what's up with him. Elder, I think, will be probably a little bit better than he was in his last start against Miami. And yeah, I would agree with the people leaning no run in the first, thinking about unders in always here. And as far as the side is concerned, yeah, as it goes up, I like it less, but even a slight lean to Miami, even as a favorite. But I definitely have not pulled the trigger on that yet. And as we talked about in the Sunday night show, when I first look at the MLB card every day, like everyone else, I feel completely lost on most of the games. And then as you get closer to first pitch, things seem to become, more obvious and apparent to me. And so far, that's worked out as far as sides are concerned, not totals. But in this one, leaning Miami and definitely liking unders and always here, and might make some of those official right now, Jim.
Yeah, I also think this is a spot where Alcantara can look good. I don't see why he wouldn't look good here.
It's just the way that I look at things. This is a spot that's. I was definitely expecting him and Urias to struggle relative to how they've been in recent years a bit this year, but this is not a particularly vulnerable spot for him relatively.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, Albies can get to him, Ozuna. But generally speaking, I think we can trust him in this spot. So, I wasn't planning on moving on this, but I'm starting to now.
You got to be careful, Jimmy. That baseball is really tough and getting tougher. But, it's yeah. I mean, I like the under in general in this one. Full game. Go ahead.
Very costly right now to move on the Marlins first 5. Expensive. I don't know if it's. I would have to take them on the -0.5, and that's when things start getting touchy here.
Yeah.
And then TJ says Miami money line is the gift. Wow.
I mean, I like it. I'll probably be on it standard size, but definitely, even though I've had a great year in MLB Inside so far, every pick and bet that I made on them this year, 90% of them I'd be like, yeah, I'm not really sure, but that's just what I'm going with, 10% of them I'm like, yeah, I like this for sure. 90% of them I'm like, I think I like it a little bit.
New Worker says, good morning, fellas. Late to the party, but I booked my flight this morning to Vegas, June 8th to 12th. Belmont weekend, baby. It says, Jose, I need to order a Pub Sports Radio ball cap for the trip. I love it, man. I love it.
All right, I'll take a no run in first inning here. -130 at Caesars. I'll take that. No run in first, -130.
Okay, so you have Pete on the Loshak's on the Nerfy. And what was that, Juice?
-130 at Caesars.
I guess I'm going to have to eat the juice here on the Marlins first 5 because of we're not expecting, low volatility situation. Professor Chris says my model has Braves favored. Says Miami's my 26th ranked hitting team and 27th bullpen.
Wait, sorry, Jim. Minus 125 at Heritage. Give me that. Minus 125 at Heritage. No run first inning.
I guess I just needed to talk it out with you guys, but I think Sandy's going to throw here. And
and you know what? You can also add on first 3 under 2.5 at minus 140. That's at Will Hill.
All right. So first 3 under 2.5 minus
140.
40. All right, that's locked in. Just before we move on here, I'd like to just to go over Sandy's home starts here, because I believe he had 6 start of the year. So he's had 3 at home. That first one was ugly. The second one was spectacular, and then the last one against Arizona was not great.
It's definitely a wild card, and I actually my numbers actually kind of at the current odds as the lines go up, like Atlanta early as well. Elder is more reliable here, and wouldn't mind taking Miami first 5 team total under at 2.5 either, but I'm not going to go crazy with all these picks.
Jorge has the Nerfy as the Meadowlark Lemon play of the day for Jorge. We have the ML money line, is the gift for Miami. And Hunter says talks of drinking all this juice is making him throw up. So, and Justin McElvee's on the Nerfy 2, found minus 127 at Bet Rivers. Sharpie says I may or may not have a bet on Alcantara today, tune at 3:10 Eastern to the Balking Dead to see who I'm on and why this is the first man we are talking about today. Millsy is on the Braves money line, but he says it's 100% biased. Okay, I like it. And I'm going to be moving on the Marlins first 5 innings. Okay, let's move on. Next up for us, 6:40 p.m. Eastern, New York Mets at Detroit Tigers. Mets 16-13, 10-7 on the road. Detroit Tigers 10-17, 5-7 at Homework America Park in Detroit, Michigan. Now, there was a spot there where there was a belief that that one game would be rained out. Let's pull up. Is this the one that they thought was going to be rained out here?
I don't know, but this is Lucchese starting.
Yes. Why? What did I say?
No. I'm just saying. When I first capped it, it was Scherzer.
Oh, okay. I feel you. Okay, so here we go. We do have drizzle to start the game. It looks like they can just push the game back. But then in that 8 o'clock hour, there's supposed to be some more rain. So it's kind of a tricky spot. 14.5 miles per hour to left. It stays between 14 to 12.8, but it's very cold. 41 Fahrenheit down to 38. And, I have no heat in the house. Bleds W says Detroit team total under. So let's take a look at the line history here for this spot and then get into the cash flow here. Why don't I have okay, there I got up here. Okay, here we go. So for this, Lucchese versus Lorenzen, we have New York opening up minus 134. They're now minus 154. 20-cent move to the New York Mets. From a total perspective, this opened up at 8.5. It's now at 9, but it's juiced to the under. So a move to the over and a move to the New York Mets. Let's see if the cash flow correlates with all of that. We have, come on, here we go. We have 27% of the tickets and 56% of the cash on the Tigers. But there's a move towards this New York Mets team. 73% of the tickets are on them, but just 44% of the cash. Then you have 68% of tickets and 74% of cash on the under, and yet this game is moved to the over. Troy Torrance says a move to the under. So, I mean, Troy, I'm only going to give Pinnacle line moves. Other books will give you, other stories. But at Pinnacle, this opened up last night at 8:32 p.m. under 8.5 minus 106. And, I guess you were right. I guess let me just pull up Pinnacles right now because they have the 9 on the board here, but maybe that's not a good estimation of what's going on here. Let me just pull up Pinnacle quickly because I don't. You're right because they put it up to 9, but But back to so this was a pick'em at 8.5. So minus 106 to the over. Within 8 minutes, it was minus 110. Within 2 hours, it was minus 113. At 9:44 this morning, it was minus 116. At 10 a.m., it was minus 118. Then at 10:59, it was minus 119, and then they moved it to 9. So it's a move to the over at Pinnacle, and maybe not at other books. Let's take a look. Oh, I did the cash already. So that's 66% of the ticket, 73% cash on the under, but it's only moved to the over the whole time over at Pinnacle. Luke Casey, last start, 9-8 win at home versus the Nats. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 2 walks, 2.19 ERA. And TJ saying bet online is the same move there. Then Lorenzen on the other side, 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs in a 6-2 loss at Milwaukee in his last start. He's not looked good. 7.07 ERA, 1.64 whip. Now, I backed him 2 starts ago, believing that he was better than his numbers indicated, and he cashed for me. I backed him again here in his last start, and it blew up in my face. I didn't back him as much as I backed the under in that spot, and that blew up in my face. Mets versus righties, 248, 733 OPS. Tigers versus lefties, 250, 69, 692 OPS. Mets bullpen, 3.51 ERA, 1.14 whip. Tigers bullpen, 4.40 ERA, 1.13 whip. Take it away for us here, Pete. Mets, Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, I probably won't give it officially, but I'll probably be on it. I know it's moved to the over in the Mets, but I'm leaning Tigers and under at these lines. And again, yes, I know that the Tigers are a terrible team, and I also might be wrong about my lean there, and it also might change by first pitch. But as of right now, definitely Tigers and under are my leans.
Well, TJ says Detroit plus 1.5 is a typical play for him here, but so much conflicting info off the double dip makes him hesitant. He says you have to imagine one or maybe 2 Mets get a rest today, bad weather off the double header. But he's on the same thing, Tigers or under or pass. Hunter Engelhardt says Mets first half minus half plus 100 for 2 units. It's probably a heavy public spot, but really like the way the Mets hit the ball against the Braves. Just a better team and a better starter.
Definitely better team, better starter. No question about that.
Yeah, this makes me very uncomfortable. Mike M says Detroit's won 6 as a home dog after loss for CNL, but the weather is wacky here. Browns Hughes moved to the over, says open 8.5 now 9 everywhere. And then I saw some Stimmy OG. Our guy Stimmy OG is big on the over. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights joining us. Thank you for joining us. All right, so that's it. No move for either of us, Pete.
Yeah, I'm an inch away from pulling trigger on Detroit, but you know what? I might have a play on every fucking game here. I don't know, Jimmy the Bag. We can. All right, let's move on. Yeah, let's move on.
There's not much to do in this next game. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh Pirates at Tampa Bay Rays. I believe there's no Roansy Contreras, so we are waiting for a pitcher to be named at this point. Is that
I think
right?
Fleming is going to be the primary. He's been overall good, ton of grounders. I just don't have any lines for this game yet, but let's check.
Isn't that because I thought it was because Roansy Contreras was not going to be there, but they have him there.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I thought interesting. So I mean, we know it's a bullpen day for the Rays. Why wouldn't they put out a line?
I don't know what the fuck, because I don't know what is going on in the heads of these freaking,
I think it's got to be Contreras is the issue, personally, because they would give us a line regardless of who was opening in a bullpen day, wouldn't they? I mean, I don't know.
I have no idea what's going through their stupid fucking heads.
Okay. Well, we need to wait for a line, but let's do some due diligence if it is Contreras. I thought he was the one that might not be there. 3-1, 3.58 ERA, 1.34 whip. Has not allowed a home run in 27 2/3 this year. He's looked very good. His last start win at home versus the Dodgers, 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks and 2 walks. See, Ronnie and Burgess, his Pirates website says to TBA. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's Contreras. There's just no way we wouldn't have a line at this point. So we don't know who's going to be in. But if it was Contreras against this bullpen day, I would like to move on the under, but I don't think we can. And he says, yeah, they're not offering props on Contreras. So that's the issue here.
Okay, let's move on then.
Yeah, let's move on. One thing about this spot, though, is both teams are smashing righties, and both teams' bullpens have been very good. It's too bad. I would love to have capped it. I think it's too bad. So it looks like that will be unavailable, but certainly would have been an under if that was but Sharpie doubled down on the Contreras not being there. So let's move on. Next up for us, 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Chicago Cubs 15-13, 7-5 on the road at Washington Nationals, 10-18, 3-12 at home. We're at Nationals Park in D.C. We'll go over to the weather, in Washington. 54 Fahrenheit, 9.6 miles per hour left to right. Becomes slightly out, in the middle of the game, slightly out, but dips down to 6.5 by the end of the game. So let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Move over here and pull it up. Okay, this is a fun one. Cubbies, Nationals, Wisniewski, Williams. We have the Cubs opening up -134. They're now -135. So no movement. From a total perspective, this opened up at 9, -117 to the under. It's now 9, -118 to the under. It's gone from it's 9 heavily juiced to the under or 8.5 juiced to the over. So it's whatever you want, but it's always maintained that spot, whether it's just heavily juiced to the under or juiced to the over, depending on 9 or 8.5. We go over to the cash flow for this one. We have 84% of the tickets and 80% of the cash on the Cubs, and the line's not moving towards them. Then 72% of tickets and 82% of cash on the under, and the line's not really moving there either. Wisniewski, 2-1, 5.24 ERA, 1.52 WHIP, 22 1/3, 15 Ks, 8 walks, 5 homers. Last start, he was pretty good. And the market told us that he was going to be good. It was a fascinating spot. 5 innings for it, 1 earned run. It was solo shot, 3 Ks and 1 walk, the 5-2 win at home. Trevor Williams on the other side, coming off a 9-8 loss at the Mets. I never know what he's going to deliver. I guess you just look for a team that has trouble against soft tossers. But I never know what he's going to give you. Cubs versus righties, 269, 772 OPS. Nats not hitting righties at all, 231, 626 OPS. Cubs bullpen, 3.90 ERA, 1.21 WHIP. Nats bullpen, 4.25 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. Cubs, Nats, take it away.
I would definitely be leaning Nats and under, although I think that the lines are close to on and also high volatility as well with this game. So I guess I'm not going to pull the trigger on it, but my numbers indicate small value, or at least, it's moving in Washington's favor. So small value with my way of looking at it, small value with the under, and with Washington liking the under more. I think that Williams is, he's mediocre, but okay. I think he's going to have a not terrible, but definitely mediocre start. Wisniewski is improving a bit recently, and that's mostly for real. So definitely leaning under, and kind of like that one quite a bit. It's just that the high volatility comes with it, which I don't love. But yeah, leaning under and small lean to Nats.
Yeah, I agree on both of those leans. And the issue is the volatility with the starting pitchers, which I completely understand.
I'm probably going to have a lot of picks today, so I guess I'll just I don't want to have like 25 picks, although that would be fun. But yeah, inch away from pulling the trigger on under 9.
Yeah, I get why you would. Cold weather, bullpen's decent enough. And yeah, I get why.
Yeah, what? We can do it. 9 -118. That's a current line at many places. 9 -118. We can make that official.
Huh. Yeah, I get why you would. And
no, actually, Will Hill 115. Cubs, Nats 115. Under 9 -115.
Yeah, I'm interested in joining you.
Don't be very, Jim. I'm going to have like 20 picks on today's card. So what you do is as much, if I had a family to take care of, I'd be doing things differently.
I hear you. I guess the only concern for me from a market standpoint is you got 72% of tickets, 82% of cash. I'd prefer if it had moved fully to 8.5.
Who knows where these numbers are going? Who knows in 2023? I'm just going to pull the trigger on it. Once again, slightly under 50% on totals. Big sample size so far this year.
I guess I'm not going to be able to because it doesn't really fit the way I want to correlate it. If there's going to be 82% of the cash on a spot, I need the market to show some sort of concern. So I'm going to have to stay off it. But I like where you're at. I think that the spot does, make sense to me. But let's move on. It's cold though. I kind of like it. I'm gonna keep the asterisks there and just put 3 question marks and look at it again after the game.
TJ says both starters get here, guys, which is entirely possible.
Yeah. Maybe I'll add a few more question marks. Okay, let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Guardians 14-15, 10-7 on the road at the New York Yankees 15-15, 9-8 at home at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. We'll start with the line. We're in Yankee Stadium. We'll start with the weather here. We have 50 Fahrenheit, 9.3 miles per hour out to left center. Gets down to 7 by the end of the game. Go over to the line history for this spot over here and get this up. Bibby versus Cole. This is going to be fun, especially after Bibby's fine performance in his first start. A move towards the Guardians. Guardians open up plus 153. They're now plus 141. It's a real legit move. It moved 6 more cents just 17 minutes ago. Total-wise, this opened up at 7.5, and it's now at 7. I took the New York Yankees season win total under at plus money with great confidence. Like it. It's looking very good. Browns Hughes says, as your resident Cleveland diehard, be careful backing Cole here with the 9th inning magic last night. That type of game will fire up this young squad. Yankees aren't hitting, and Bibby is legit. Grit and grind on Bibby over 4.5 Ks. But Rico says Yankees first 5 in full game. Easy money. Easy money. There is a recency bias. I have, Billy. There's a recency bias. You are right there. All right, let's take a look at the cash flow and see if it correlates here with the under and the Guardians. And we have 69% of the tickets on the Yankees, but just 52% of the cash. I mean, that certainly correlates with the Guardians. Then you have 51% of the tickets and 98% of the cash on the under, but it has moved from 7.5 to 7. Mike M says Cleveland is 0-6 at Yankee Stadium at night after a win. Robert Franklin is on the under 7. TJ, he did mention this. Yeah, he did mention this with us last week. He said he started betting against the Yankees every day last Monday, being nice. Mike M says when the previous line was longer than minus 180, home favorites on Tuesday are 30-5 straight up and 27-8 run line with a starter coming off an over as a favorite in his last head-to-head matchup. Chili Dog Dooley looking at the Nerfy.
Chili Dog Dooley. Shout out to you, Jay. Maybe if we do the low bag movie, my character's name will be, they'll take it. Chili Dog Dooley. Shout out, Chili Dog Dooley.
Garrett Cole's been spectacular. 5-0, 1.11 ERA, 0.84 whip, 44 Ks and 40 2/3. I'd love to see what Sharpie thinks about this spot on his Balking Dead show. Last start, 6 2/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 8 Ks, 1 walk, and the 4-2 win at Texas. Bibby in his first start at home versus the Rockies, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, no walks. It was beautiful. Now he gets on the road in a pressure spot like the Bronx. The Guardians aren't hitting righties, and they're just barely hitting them worse than the Yankees. Both teams are hitting 231 against righties, but Guardians 258 OPS, while the Yankees 658 OPS, while the Yankees are 681 OPS. And both bullpens have been very good. Take it away, Pistol Pete. I'm very interested in your breakdown. Guardians, Yankees.
My numbers liked, Cleveland first 5 team total under, even at 1.5 minus 130 or whatever, and a bit less so, but still liking it. First 5 under. Bibby is the real deal, but this is not the greatest spot for him. But the Yankees, yes, are in a legit funk right now offensively, according to my numbers. Cole, you never know when the bad start, when the clunker will show up. But my numbers indicate no reason to believe that this is the spot. Leaning Cleveland first 5 team total under, and both teams first 5 under.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You think that Bibby is set up for another excellent start?
I don't love the spot for him though, but overall his stuff looks good to me.
He was lights out in Columbus before he came up to Cleveland. Last year he didn't throw in AAA, so to start the year, I mean, Bibby is he's 24 years old, 5th round pick of the Guardians out of Cal State Fullerton, and he went from high A to double A last year and was excellent at both of them. He's just very good. I mean, there's just no getting around it. He's just very good. That first 5 under 3.5 minus 105.
Yeah, looking very tempting. That's definitely looking tempting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be tempting. I guess the only concern here is just Bibby's first Major League road start at Yankee Stadium. Would you say that's your only concern?
Yeah, that's my concern. And also, Cole is like, you don't want to be, there's going to be times when Cole has one of his, home starts where he gives up, 2 runs in 6 innings instead of 0 runs in 8 innings or whatever. But I see no indication why this wouldn't be a decent start from Cole. I mean, another lights out start.
Yeah, I agree. Well, there's a ton of money on this under. 98% of the cash is on the under, but at least it's gone from 7.5 down to 7. So at least the books are showing concern. Okay, I think I'm in.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take Cleveland first 5-team total under 1.5 minus 135. I can feel like 2 somewhat fluky runs in the top of the 4th coming in here, but I'll take it. Under 1.5 minus 135. First 5-team total under.
That's 135. You are in. Guardians first 5. Team total under. Robert Franklin says Bibby real deal. Yankee lineup is no bueno right now. Says they'll take a shot with Cleveland at this price plus 140. Mike M looking at Naylor RBI plus 185. 7 in the last 8 versus the Yankees. Write it down, Peter. You see that? Uh-oh. Write it down, Peter. Wow.
Which one is that?
Write it down. The write it down play of the day for Mike M is 1-0 after he hit that Richardson draft prop at plus 300.
He likes Taylor RBI. Wow. Okay, so that means he doesn't think a shutout is coming. Wow. All right, Mike M.
Wow. I like it. So I'm going to copy and paste that. Write it down, Peter. Play of the day. I love when people mention those days, like, lines from our old days down in Central America. Write it down, Peter. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to move on the first 5 under 3.5. Peter is on the first 5 team total under 1.5 minus 135, and TJ says that he will be betting Cleveland right before the game starts. All right, let's move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Twins 17-12, 7-6 on the road at the Chicago White Sox 8-2, 14-9 at home at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. As I told you guys, there are 2 spots that jump off the page at you. They jumped off the page at every single baseball capper. And 98% of the cash was on the Minnesota Twins. We'll see what it is now. And I don't want those spots on my card. They are the Baltimore Orioles with Tyler Wells, and they are Joe Ryan with the Twins. Both road teams with all the money on them. Guaranteed Rate Field here in Chicago, Illinois. Let's take a look at the weather here for this one. 48 Fahrenheit, 11.4 miles per hour out to left center. It's always going to be in the double digit out. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 93% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on the Twins. Then we have 64% of the tickets and 77% of cash on the over. 64 and 77. Let's go over to the line history here for this one. Ryan versus Kopech. We have the Twins opening up minus 150. They're now minus 169. So at least if you are on the favorite with the public, at least the line's moving in their direction. It has been pretty much constantly moving there. There was one 4-cent move back at 12:15 a.m. But other than that, the line's just been moving towards the Twins. From a total standpoint, this opened up at 8.5 and it's now at 9, which is probably implying that Kopech is vulnerable. And we already went over the cash flow. We have Billy Friedrich says White Sox yet to win 2 in a row this season. Rick J says Kopech has a good history versus Twins bats. TJ says White Sox plus 1.5 or pass. Then LG likes the Twins team total over 5 at plus 100. Vipe, as I said, White Sox first 5 team total over 1.5. And Mike M says Buxton home run spot. White Sox serve meatballs plus 265, and he's gone yard 4 of the last 5. Joe Ryan coming off a beautiful performance at home over the Yankees. He's looked good against the Yankees this year. He's looked good against everybody this year. He went 7 hits, 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 of which was earned, 7 Ks, no walks, 2.81 ERA, 5-0, 0.81 WHIP. Then we have Kopech 0-3, 7.01 ERA, 1.71 WHIP. There was a lot of talk about whether he's tipping his pitches in that first start when he got absolutely destroyed, but nothing has really changed. Coming off an 8-0 loss at the Jays, he went 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 Ks, 2 walks. Twins are hitting 248, 748 versus righties. White Sox are doing nothing against righties, 238, 667 OPS. Twins bullpen's being good, 3.82 ERA, 1.21 WHIP. White Sox bullpen atrocious, 6.86 ERA, 1.76 WHIP. Pistol Pete, 96% of the cash is on the Twins. Are you moving on this game?
No, I'm going to hold off. I do think I like Baltimore, though, but this one, it does make me a little bit nervous. Tim Anderson coming back. Of course, this is just like his first game or whatever. But, yeah, I guess I'm going to pass. I was tempted to take Minnesota here as well. I like Ryan in general, and in general have been looking to bet on him. But at the current line, yeah, I'm going to hold off on this one.
Hunter Engelhardt says White Sox on Sunday had the biggest sign of production all year. Back at Tim Anderson back today says, so taking a score first at plus 150. And first half White Sox at plus 160. Browns Hughes says, holy shit, what is happening to the line? It's because of exactly what Razor told us. Jimmy Butler on court for the shoot around. He told us that in the chat. So it looks like he will be a go today. Now down to 5.5. Twinkies, White Sox here. Yeah, I just, in the past, when I wasn't winning at baseball, I would bet those first spots that jumped out at me. I don't want to do that anymore. But I do agree with you that the other one, the Orioles, does look more appealing because of the way the Orioles hit lefties. But we'll get into that in a second. Mike M says, yes, run first inning opportunity. Minnesota has 4 in a row as a road favorite, and Sox 8-5 at home to the yes runs first inning. Jay's final take says Sox are getting smoked today, period. So you hear what Jay believes in that spot. And DC Capper looking at Toronto Boston over 9.5. So nothing for me. Let's move on to Boston. Toronto Blue Jays 18-11, 9-8 on the road. The Boston Red Sox 16-14, 10-7 at home. We're in Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. And we'd love to hear from the host of Say Hey Plays anytime his baseball team is in action. AL East battle against the Toronto Blue Jays. We have Kukoc on the mound against Tanner Houck. Let me set a quick table here. Weather-wise, first off, great to see you, Jose. Thank you for joining us, my friend. 50 Fahrenheit, 9 miles per hour out to center. Stays between 8.1 and 9.2 all game long. Line history-wise, we have the Kukoc opening up minus 114, now minus 127. 13-cent move in his direction. It did get up to minus 131 at 9:37 a.m. There's been 4 cents of buyback, but 13-cent overall move to the Blue Jays. From a total perspective, this opened up at 9.5 as a pick 'em. There's been a 4-cent move to the under. So slight move to the under and a move to the Blue Jays. I took a long look at this and, I guess it's becoming a little bit more appealing, but this was the issue I had when I first looked at it. 37% of the tickets on the Red Sox and 56% of the cash. It's as if some, cappers, syndicates, whatever you want to say, are just waiting for Kikuchi to show a little bit of his form of last year. 53% of the tickets on the under and just 39% of the cash. So we've had that slight move to the under, but the bigger bets have come in on the over. Conflicting info from that spot. Piker says Red Sox continue to be undervalued. Says I'm back to the well again today. Looking at this number as high as it can get steamed to, and I anticipate Red Sox bats to stay hot and get it done again. Kikuchi looked great again in his last start. 8-0 win at home over the White Sox. 5 2/3, 4 hits, no runs, 8 Ks. Has a 1.11 whip. Certainly looks like the real deal. Still has the home run issue. Has allowed 6 home runs in 27 innings. Houck coming off that 6-2 loss at the Orioles. He allowed 4 runs, just 3 of which were earned in 5 innings, 7 hits. Jays are hitting 249, 741 OPS versus righties. Red Sox 245, 728 versus lefties. Jays bullpen has started to look quite good. They didn't look very good at times this year, but over the last little while, they've been very good. 3.77 ERA, 1.12 whip. Red Sox bullpen has been good all year. 3.65 ERA, 1.24 whip. And Jose gave us that idea that the Red Sox bullpen was going to be much better this year, and we've executed and made money off Red Sox spots because of it. Blue Chase Fox says, Blue Jays killed me yesterday. Could not backwoods this game fast enough. Kikuchi could get shelled at any point. His stuff is marginal. Troy Torrance says Cooch deals versus the Red Sox. Troy Torrance considering Jay's first half money line full game and the -1. And Billy Friedrich says the over 9.5 is one of my only MLB bets today. Spending penny bombs on Varsho over 1.5 total bases at +110 and a homer at +500. Said he hasn't faced Houck before, but Tanner splits much worse for lefties this year. Kiermaier single at -105 and Hernandez for Boston over 1.5 bases at +150. Jose Bouquet, your Red Sox in action against my Blue Jays. Take it away.
Yeah. Jesus. I wish this was the hockey matchup as well. Unfortunately, I had a fucking bunch of choke artists on that team. Unfortunate there. But I'm on the Kikuchi train, guys. I've been on it basically every game that you can actually bet on it. Last game, it was a little overpriced. And by the way, Razor, suck my dick from the back.
From the back?
Yes. But I think Kikuchi pitches well today. Tanner Houck always gives me fits. It feels like every time we talk about the Red Sox, it's Tanner Houck, it seems. And it's like, I don't know what to do with him. But I took the Blue Jays first 5 money line, thinking that if the runs are going to come, it's going to come from Tanner Houck, and our bullpen, which is actually good, will shut them down then. Kenley hurt, came out of his last appearance, back spasms. So we'll see how that comes. And now it looks like Chris Martin's going to close baseball games for the Red Sox, which is going to be scary. It is going to be worrisome. But I, if anything, just by the numbers you said, I'd take Red Sox full game. But I'm on the Blue Jays first half, first 5 there, money line +100.
Jays first 5 +100 for Jose. Blow me from the back, Bouquet. Pistol Pete, Jays Red Sox.
Yeah, I hope he cashes. This is an interesting game. I'm going to pass because I agree with Poker Addicted that Boston in general, especially in situations that don't look good for them, are undervalued. If you remember on Sunday, I said that I did like Boston as a dog on Monday, despite the fact that it was Barrios against Kluber. And kind of a similar situation here, although I don't like Boston. I'm not going to bet this one, and because I'm a believer in Kikuchi in general. Overall, he struggled a lot in the majors, but he made adjustments that really paid off. This has been the case with him for a few years, and right now he's definitely dealing. So it's just pass for me, Jim.
Yeah, this game makes me uncomfortable too. So that was a -0.5. First 5 -0.5.
No, full. First 5 money line, even money. That's what I got. I'm pretty sure that's what I got.
No,
Sorry, I might be. That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
I agree with you. Yes, never mind. It was a -0.5. Apologies. I wrote down first 5 money line.
First half -0.5 at +100. Joan Brockington, thank you for the kind words. Yeah, we got it figured out now. North End says, everyone on the Cooch train. Time for me to step off quick. I'm
a rider. I'll go down with the ship. I'm one of the fucking dudes on the Titanic just fiddling away. DG's been the captain of the Kikuchi train, and I'm just on the first mate, and I'm on it. And I'm riding it. It hurt me that I saw that Kikuchi would be facing the Red Sox. It really did, but this is what has to happen. And by the way, Kikuchi last year against the Red Sox has been pretty good. They faced him in a couple relief appearances. I throw those away, even though one of them was 3 innings, no earned runs, I believe it was. 1 start last year. I think it was. I didn't even write it down. It was a good start. It was like 6 innings, 1 earned run, from what I remember. So I like my man Kikuchi. What can you say?
Yep, sounds good. As Man Bear Pig says, I hope you cash, Jose. 1 hole, 2 fingers, blow me from the back, Bouquet. Now get out of here.
Thank you. I fucking took my.
No, keep Jim. You get out of here.
Oh man,
what's going on here? Press the right button, you fuck.
Okay, let's go.
Guy's fucking 24 years old, clicking the wrong fucking button on his computer.
Max Welly really proud of young Jose riding and being sucked off from the back. All right, let's move on. Jose's on the Jays. First 5 minus a half plus 100. Joe Yurkovich says Boston last 10 versus lefties, 203 average, 2.25 runs per game. And TJ says there's someone holding a Toronto ticket today. It very much concerns me that Jose is against his Red Sox. The Stacks play of the day is Mountcastle over 1.5 bases. Mountcastle over 1.5 bases. Stacks play of the day is 4 and 3. Let's get this up here because that takes us into our next game. The Stacks play of the day. Mountcastle over 1.5 bases at minus 129. Not only do we have the Stacks play of the day here, but we also have our Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day, and that is Baltimore on the -1 line at minus 127. Shout out to our Ron Crawford. Lucas Ryan says, blow me from the back. Bouquet almost made me swerve off the road laughing. It's perfect alliteration.
It really is.
He didn't use that. He said, he used suck and dick, but blow me from the back. Bouquet is absolutely.
And it's because people be like, how did you come up? Who came up with that? And the answer is we all came up with it collectively. So, yeah.
Baltimore is 19-9, 10-5 on the road. And the Kansas City
and they're going to be like, it took fucking 8 of you to come up with that? Yeah, it did. All right? Get out of here. Fucking Christ.
1-12 at home. We're at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. There's our guy Markel in the house. What up, Markel? Okay, let's go over to the weather in Kansas City. 64 Fahrenheit, 12.8 miles per hour, left to right, slightly out, and dies down to 7.8 miles per hour. We also have Wham Bam in the chat. He's going to be breaking down NBA with us. I'm looking forward to that. Trot Wam in the house. Let's go over to the line history for this spot here. A fun one. Baltimore, Kansas City. And, of course, this is another one that everybody's seeing the same thing. We know that the Orioles can hit lefties, and Tyler Wells has been very good. Orioles open up minus 143. They're now minus 159. That's a 16-cent move towards them. Interestingly enough, over the first couple hours this was available, over the first 12 hours this was available, there was no line move to the Orioles. The line move happened 9:22 this morning. So that's interesting. Total-wise, this opened up at 9 and has dropped to 8.5, which tells me that there is an idea that Yarbrough may pitch well here, and Yarbrough's coming off a nice start. Yarbrough coming off a 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks, 1 walk, and 2-0 loss at Arizona. But this is based on Tyler Wells. 2.79 ERA, 0.72 WHIP. He's looked very good thus far. 23 strikeouts, 3 walks. Coming off a 6-2 win at home versus the Red Sox, he went 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 7 Ks, 1 walk. Orioles are hitting 266, 796 OPS versus lefties. Royals just 214, 591 OPS. And the Orioles bullpen looks really good again this year. 2.86 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, while the Royals bullpen bad. 5.26 ERA, 1.42 WHIP. But I shouldn't talk highly about anything of this Kansas City Royals team. I do think the bullpen will get better as the season goes on. Take it away for us here, Pete. Orioles, Royals.
Yeah, this one I think I will pull the trigger on the obvious play, and it's not necessarily because I'm down on Yarbrough. I think he's all right. It's more of just a play on Baltimore in general over the Royals, and yeah, a believer in Wells to be consistent and probably have another solid start here. So I'm leaning everything. Baltimore first 3, first 5, -1, and maybe even the KC team total under maybe. Thinking about all those.
98% of the tickets, 98% of the cash on the Baltimore Royals. Nice. Browns Hughes says Penny just moved the Dodgers total to 7.5. Actually, I did see a couple books moving in that direction. I was surprised that Bet365 had the best line on that. Browns Hughes, because I immediately, because I've got the account for live betting on Bet Online, so I immediately went there, and that was -120, whereas it's just -115 at Bet365. But Piker says, yeah, the Orioles are definitely better, but I mean, the probability matches the line here. There's just no value at this price, in his opinion. Mike M's hip to be square play of the day. Oh, wow. TJ got the under 8.5 there. Now we're talking. Nice job, TJ. Hip to be square play today. Baltimore Dodgers is a plus 164 parlay. He is 14-13 plus 3.54 units on the hip to be square parlay. I just don't want to be ever in this spot, Pete.
Yeah, no, I understand it, Jim.
So, but I get it. We all get it. I mean, everybody that looked at this game gets it.
And it's also a different world from 10 years ago. But when I was doing videos for years and years and years, the public was on, there were years where the public would be on the Pats. 98% of the money would be on the Pats and the tickets and everything every friggin' week. And it would cash like 90% of the time. So it's sometimes the huge public plays do win and are not even bad bets in theory.
6 years ago, I think it was. I guess maybe it was 7 years ago, but Kershaw was minus 400 or 500, and it didn't matter if you just
a lot of examples of that. Yes,
$10,000 on Kershaw every start. Dodgers on every start that he was on. So, okay. So Jay's final take says minus 160 says not everyone. No, you're right. The 98% says everyone, not the line. The bets says everyone. Okay, let's move on. Spreadsheet play today is Baltimore -1 at -127.
Well, Jim, let me first take Baltimore first 3 minus 150.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take Baltimore -1 as well. I'll quote a line. I'll quote you a line for that. Okay.
Orioles first 3 minus 150.
And then I'm going to take -1. I'll quote a line. Just give me a moment here.
And Orioles
-1. You can move on. I'll just quote the line when I get it.
Sounds good. Justin McElvey on Mountcastle over 1.5 bases at -129. And good luck to all of you guys. Jay's final take says trifecta. And I know that Jose's looking at that spot too. All right, let's move on. 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Angels 15-14, 7-9 on the road at St. Louis Cardinals 10-19, 5-8 at home at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's go over to the weather in St. Louis. 64 Fahrenheit, 16.4 miles per hour out to right field. Wow. It does go down to 11.6, but very offensive weather. Now, it's not hot, but very offensive wind. Take a look at the line history here for this spot. Sandoval versus Mats. This opened up with the Cardinals -121. They're now -126. When I was looking at this spot and thinking about backing Sandoval and the Angels bats versus lefties, I was surprised the market wasn't moving towards them. So it's been a 5-cent move towards the Cardinals. From a total perspective, this opened up at 9, a juice to the under. It's still juice to the under, but there's been a 2-cent move to the over. Jay's final take, he's on the Angels as well. And TJ says over win, but he can get plus money on the over 9. Yeah, this isn't moving. I'm very interested, and I've already gone over it because I was staring at this game this morning. So one thing that's going to happen now that the NHL and NBA are quieting down is that I'll be able to have a lot more action in before we get to the show. But let's take a look at the cash here for this one. You have 36% of the tickets on the St. Louis Cardinals and 49% of the cash. Then you have 82% of the tickets and 87% of the cash on the over. And market not really moving in my estimation. Sandoval coming off a good start at home versus the A's. The A's are hitting lefties decent, and he needed the bounce-back start. 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 1 homer, 5 Ks, no walks, 3.16 ERA, 1.29 whip. He's allowed 2 home runs in 25 2/3. Steven Matz has been okay this year, coming off a 7-3 loss at the Giants. 4 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 3 walks. Now, both squads are smashing lefties. Angels 287, 808 OPS, Cards 288, 820 OPS. And the Angels bullpen's been really good. 3.13 ERA, 1.17 whip, and the Cards bullpen not quite as good. And Jay's final take thinks Sandoval goes under 5.5 Ks here. There's Turnsey in the house. He's parlaying Dallas and the over 4.5 for a plus price. Piker says, Matt's definitely on my fade list. Heavy lean, first 5 Angels in the spot, but you're right. Market is confusing, but he can see past that. There's Gerald Jones in the house. Rocco is on Renfroe over 1.5 total bases. Rendon over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Renfroe, homer. Rendon, homer. Angels team total over 4. Take it away for us here. Oh, and we have Jose Seje play of the day on this spot. Thank you for jumping back in, Jose. Jose Seje play of the day in Angels Cardinals. Jose, let's hear from you first.
He's back. Great.
Yeah, I know. What a fuckhead. Man, maybe I'm Joe Public, I guess, but I'm on the over here. I thought I screamed over in this game too. Weather, Both these teams traditionally hitting lefties. The concern that I have, and maybe this is the first indication of this game going under, obviously, is the money, but last 2 weeks, 106 weighted runs created plus compared to a full season of 126 for the Angels. And then last 2 weeks for the Cardinals, 117 weighted runs created plus compared to 124. So they're struggling a little bit, but both are still above average. So that's what I'm relying on here. But I took the over 9.
The over 9. Bo Jackson says Cardinals now 0-9 in series openers this season. Only such winless team in MLB, and it's the first time in franchise history they've lost the first 9 series openers of a season. Jose, did you tweet this out or do we line shop?
I tweeted it out during the show. So yeah,
over 9 at what?
105. Over 9 minus 105 there.
All right, Pistol Pete, Angels, Cards, Busch Stadium. Take it away.
Yeah, the line makes me a little bit nervous. I don't like it when my line is way off from the market line, and I was liking the Angels here. Matt's I have as very vulnerable. Someone else said he was maybe an auto fade. I might put him on an auto fade list right now, or he's definitely borderline for sure. And I think St. Louis's struggles are likely to turn around at some point, but not necessarily in this spot. Don't love Sandoval either, so I'm definitely not opposed to the to overs. And I was thinking about the Angels have a big question mark in the bullpen, to put it mildly. So I was thinking about either taking, Angels first 3 or first 5, or the Angels first 5 team total over, or the Angels -1, or maybe even -1.5 situation where the bullpen is less likely to matter. That's what I'm thinking, though. Makes me nervous in general that my line for this one is so significantly off of the market.
Well, I'm 100% with TJ. Not that St. Louis has to be on the card. I shouldn't say that, but because I still, it doesn't correlate with my X's and O's, because I'm with you. Matt's is vulnerable, and I think Sandoval is a good pitcher. But he says, yeah, they got to be on the card. Books are telling us they're welcoming Angel money. They are. He says, when all signs point one way, you have to be able to get to the window on the other side. Long term, you will have a nice ROI. I agree, but I agree. And we saw that, especially in TJ, you were the one last year that was tracking those spots for me. When the market took me off of a play, and if I had to just jump to the other side, the hit rate was, I think, in the high 60s percentage wise. In saying all that, I don't want, but let's listen to Wine Time Sports. This guy goes to all the Angel games. He knows this team inside out. He says he took the Angels +110. Says Arenado and Goldschmidt couldn't hit him in the World Baseball Classic. Says I don't see those guys doing anything today. Cardinals lineup is awful. But Razor, look, I think we're getting close to a gambler's first glance, because Razor says everyone betting the Angels and they're lowering the line. If they wanted Angels money, wouldn't they give a better number and higher number? Well, that's what I mean. I guess you're right. So you're saying that they're just not. Let me go back to the money line here. Well, they are. I mean, the it's just 4 cents, but the Angels opened up at +112, and they're now at +116. But I guess you're right. I guess that's not quite enough, is what Razor is saying. Jay agreeing with Razor, so 4 cents not being enough. But in saying that, we're talking about a spot where there is 64% of the tickets on one side. Now, it is pretty even money-wise, though, 51.49. With all that being said, TJ saying Goldschmidt +217 weighted runs created versus lefties last few years, 217, 117% above the average. Says I'll give him a pass for the WBC. Luce saying not a big move. Jay's final take. Jay got him at +120 at FanDuel last night, and I'm off of this spot. Is there anything you want to make official, Pete? We have the Say Hey play of the day over 9 at -105.
Yeah, I mean, we'll start with if it loses, it loses. That's okay, but I can't not take LA at least first 3 or first 5 as a dog. Come on. All right, so I will actually. Which one do I want to take? I guess I'll take. I don't want to take both of them, but I guess I'll just. I'll take first 3 +100. Angels first 3 +100.
Angels first 3 +100. That move makes a ton of sense. Ron Crawford says road favorites continue to dominate his spreadsheet. and he's plus 21.52 units overall on his spreadsheet. Play of the day 103 and 61. Or not play of the day, but on the spots that the spreadsheet's telling him to bet. Robert Franklin also on the Angels. Okay, good luck, you guys. Loshak on the Angels first 3 plus 100. Jose Seje play today over 9 minus 105. I'm off that spot. Let's move over to Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Arizona Diamondbacks 16 and 13, 8 and 7 on the road at Texas Rangers 17, 11, 11, 5 at home at Globe Life Field. Zach Gallen going up against John Gray. Zach Gallen has been nothing short of spectacular in his last 4 starts. He's been so good. Take a look at the line history here on this one. We have a big move to the Diamondbacks. So this morning, I thought that there hadn't been a big enough move towards them. Opening up at minus 127. They were sitting this morning at minus 137. Down to minus 136. I was just like, look, why isn't there a bigger move? The big move has come now. It's now minus 150. So now you have that 23-cent move towards the Diamondbacks. From a total perspective, this opened up at 8, minus 113 to the under. It's now minus 112 to the under. So no move on the total, but we do now have a move that we were waiting for on the Arizona Diamondbacks. 46% of the tickets are on the Rangers and 86% of the cash. Very strange. Very, very strange. So only 14% of cash on the Diamondbacks, but the market's now moving there. Strange. 37% of the tickets, 60% of cash on the under, and there's been no movement. Gallen, I believe, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it's 4 straight scoreless starts. His last start, 2-0 win at home versus Kansas City. He went 6 1/3, 4 hits, 12 Ks, no walks. That was against Yarbrough. Gallen, 2.15 ERA, 0.77 whip. John Gray coming off 5-3 loss at the Reds, 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 Ks, 2 walks. That was a fun spot. We were all on Ashcraft in that game, and Ashcraft is pitching today against Waka and the Padres. Spots I'd like to be on. Like, I'd like to be on Sandoval. It didn't all correlate. And I'd like to be on Zach Gallen, and now it is finally sort of, the market's moving towards him, but still the big bets are on Texas. That's confusing. Obviously, the market showing no concern. Diamondbacks versus righties, 264, 748 OPS. Rangers versus righties, 261, 788 OPS. The Diamondbacks bullpen, 4.56 ERA, 1.29 whip. Rangers bullpen being quite good this year, 3.46 ERA, 1.13 whip. Take it away, Pistol Pete, Diamondbacks, Rangers.
Yeah, it's a weird time in humanity in general, and definitely in sports betting as well. I'm not going to overthink it. I can't not take it. I know their favorite lines. If they lose, they lose. I can double up on a first 3 and first 5, right, Jim?
Of course.
All right, so we'll take Arizona first 3 minus 150 at Caesars, and at Pinnacle we'll take Arizona first 5 minus 147, doubling up. Hey, fuck you getting blowjobs from behind, whatever the fuck your name is, all right? This is fucking Zach Gallen, all right? This is some like Yankees team line of like minus 250 or whatever. We've seen this before from him. We've seen this before from other guys like Clayton Kershaw, as Jimmy the Bag once just recently mentioned. 150 is a little bit steep, and doubling up on it is, but it's fucking Zach Gallen. We've seen this before from him. I'm a believer. Yeah, on the road, it's a little bit more iffy for sure. But if you look at his run last year, he had, when he was like literally throwing goose eggs game in and game out, he had road starts where it continued. And I like the spot. There's other things I like about it, so I'm going to take him. 2 plays here.
Rick J says, guys gone 4 straight games without a run. Why would you want to fade him? I get it.
What was that? Go fuck yourself with your backwards dick, Jose Bouquet, all right? Or backwards fucking biology. What the fuck's going on with you? Playing these fucking videos. Make me feel bad.
I don't know if that's the case.
Embarrassing me in front of all the low baggers.
I don't know if it's his dick that's backwards.
Whatever it is. His fucking head. The head's on fucking back. Whatever. Something's backwards up there.
Hunter Engelhardt says, got to be Texas record and hitting at home. Why people are on it. John Gray looked sketchy as hell last time out against the Reds. Now, that was at Cincinnati. Jay's final take says John Gray's getting touched today in the total strikeouts. Yeah, I get it. It's a confusing market here, and I would be completely Oh, Blue Chase Fox does think the backward biology is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess this would have been a spot that I would 100% have been on, and I will not be now. But look at that start against Kansas City. 12 strikeouts and 6 in the third. Noli Knows just arrived. Perfect timing.
He's like, God, I got to hear what Loshak and the bag are breaking down today. To hear me saying, fuck you, Jose, with your backwards cock.
All right. Let's move on from that spot. But I just don't see why that wouldn't be a winning bet. But I got to stick to my system here. Okay. We move on. So a lot of ideas here from the chat as to what is going on with Jose. But 8:10 p.m. Eastern, San Francisco Giants 11-17, 4-10 on the road at the Houston Astros, 16-13, 8-9 at home. Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Disclafani going up against Hunter Brown. Take a look at the line history here for this Astros spot. We have the Astros opening up at minus 165. They're now minus 184. 19-cent move towards them. This was another spot that, had all that. There was 4 cents of movement before this. I mean, this morning there had been no move at all. 5:40 up till 10-10 this morning. There'd been no move towards the Astros, and now there has been a 19-cent move. From a total perspective, this opened up at 8. It's now at 8.5. So there's an idea that there's some vulnerability here with these starters who have been very good this year. 91% of the tickets are on the Astros and 82% of the cash. And now the market's moving towards them. 51% of the tickets and 67% of cash are on the over, and the market's moving there. Disclafani, 2-1, 2.70 ERA, 0.93 whip. Last start, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, both solo shots, 6 Ks, 1 walk, and a 7-3 win at home versus Cardinals. He's always been very good at Oracle. Now he's on the road. Hunter Brown, got to be the real deal. My goodness. 1.05 whip in his first 30 and a third innings this year. No home runs allowed. Last start at the Rays, who are raking against righties. He completely shuts them down. 7 innings, no earned runs, just 2 hits, 8 Ks, and 2 walks. The Giants are hitting righties hard, 252, 815 OPS. The Astros aren't hitting righties at all. 246, 681 OPS. Giants bullpen's been absolutely atrocious. 6.40 ERA, 1.55 whip. Well, the Astros bullpen has been very good. 2.97 ERA, 1.12 whip. Pete, I'm very interested in your take on this one. Giants, Astros, take it away.
All right, dude. Jose's got me tilted because he's gonna fucking play that fucking video again. But yeah, Hunter Brown last start was lights out. We know Yastrzemski's out, and Crawford's out, and San Francisco in general is a team that strikes out a lot. I don't do a lot of props, but the Brown strikeout prop over is looking a little bit no-brainerish right here. And in general, DeSclafani's been overall pretty good, not lights out, but good. So I'd be leaning under, and especially early unders as well. Expecting another very strong start from Hunter Brown, maybe strikeout prop over.
A big shout out to our guy, Ronnie Mbergia, in the house with a $20 dono. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. Says, this is a Control Your Vessel. I didn't know Control Your Vessel was Ronnie's alter ego. Says, other phone wouldn't let me process. Wouldn't be nearly successful without Pub Sports in the chat. Thank you, man. North Ender says that his bet 365 is down. No, I'm good to go. I'm fine. So something else going on. Thank you, Ronnie. It means a ton. So are you going to pay the juice?
Wow, look at that. There's a 20-cent move, huh? From the overnight line. It was like, wow. When I looked at it, it was 160. Now it's all the way up to 180.
Yeah.
I was liking the under more anyway. Yeah, I'm going to think about what I want to do here, Jim. I got to pull the trigger one way or another. Go ahead.
Well, sorry, we have a look over Churchill Downs from Spenny Penny Bombs. 2-6 over 2-6-1-5 in race 1. He's also betting the 6 to win. 2-6, 2-6-1-5, and also the 6 to win. Rocco looking at Hunter Brown over 6.5 Ks.
Yeah. Is that what the line is? 6.5? That's wow. That is, man. I don't really do too many strikeout props here, but that one is looking A little no-brainerish, Jim.
Yeah. I mean, what do you make of, in general, no move for 12 hours and then movement
On what?
On the favorite?
Oh, the some fucking dude with some machine learning bullshit loved Houston at -160, despite what jerk offs like Jose Bouquet would say about that. And the limits increased, and bam, they max bet it everywhere you can.
But I mean, the limits would increase before 9 this morning.
A big move like that, that's the fucking people with influence coming in, doing their max bets wherever the max bets are coming in at. But you can put in first 3 under 2.5 -125. We can start there. That's no brainerish right there. Let's start there. San Francisco, Houston, first 3 under 2.5 -125. We can start there.
See, in my head, I'm thinking that this is just the public finally getting in and moving their actions. Just the public.
That ain't the public, Jim.
You don't think so?
No.
All right. There you go.
That's probably some people. I don't want to name them, but we know who they are.
Piker says, my readings are I'm seeing Houston opening up over $2 and over 90% of the action, the line down to 185. They were at minus 160, Piker, for 12 hours.
Wow, what the fuck? This strikeout is 6.5, and it's juiced to the under a little bit. Holy shit. I think I'll take that, Jim. I'm going to quickly glance at Pinnacle to see if there's a strikeout prop here that's a little bit better, but I can't not take it. Once again, I can't not take it.
Yes, I'm only looking at Pinnacle, Piker, and Bet365.
All right, I'll go on that one. -113 current line at Caesars. Hunter Brown over 6.5 Ks. I'll take that one.
Hunter Brown over 6.5 Ks.
-113 current line at Caesars. Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. So Jay's final take says sharp bettors have banged this line. Now the value's gone. I question why the sharp bettors waited 12 hours to do it. That's all. And I'll continue with it.
Because of limits.
But the limits you don't wait 12 hours for the limits, or 16 hours. Some books this has been out for 16 hours.
Yeah, but the limits increase,
Yeah, but it doesn't take that long for the limits to increase.
Who knows what's going on behind the scenes in these places, but the money can't. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm not interested in it. But I don't believe. Look, I'm not saying that it's the public that's necessarily moving the lines, but
Billy Friedrich says Hunter Brown is plus 100 at bookmaker over 6.5. Is that a correct line?
Let me know because I will move on.
Yeah. All right.
TJ says we can bet 5 digits by 10 p.m. last night. Noli says Jimmy never been hungover. They were late. I don't agree. That's all. It's part of the fun. That's part of the fun.
All right. Give me plus 100. If Billy Friedrich says that's the line at bookmaker, then that's the fucking line. All right. Plus 100.
You got it. Hunter Brown over 6.5 Ks plus 100. Astros first 3 under 2.5 -125. Let's move on. 8:40 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee Brewers 18-10, 9-4 on the road at the Colorado Rockies, 9-24, 9 at home. We're at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Take a look at the weather here in Denver. 63 Fahrenheit, 12.7 miles per hour left to right, slightly out. 12.7 down to 8.5. But once it gets to 8.5, within about 2 hours after the game's first pitch, it's fully out. It's fully out to right field. Take a look at the line history here on this one. Feltner, Peralta. Now, this one's interesting because I don't trust Feltner, but Peralta's had some pretty juicy, easy home starts this year. I believe he's only had one road start all year. There's been no movement to the Brewers, who are clearly the better team, opening up last night 826 -154, now sitting at -155. So I tried to explain why would there be no movement, and that was it. I was like, maybe Peralta's just not trusted on the road. This total opened up at 11, juiced to the under. It's now juiced to the over, a 13-cent move to the over. So let's go over to the cash flow for this one. We have 71% of the tickets and 82% of the cash on the Brewers without the line moving a cent at Pinnacle. Then we have just 27% of tickets on the over, but 66% of the cash on the over. Wow. So the over is screaming at us here. So Freddie Peralta. So then I was like, okay, so trying to explain the market. So I was like, well, what has Freddie Peralta done at Coors? And he hasn't been there. It's pre-2020 maybe, but he's not been there the last 3 years. 3-2, 3.77 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, 31 Ks and 28 2/3. Last start was at home versus Detroit, a real cushy start. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks, no walks. Jay already moved on the over last night. I think that's probably the right bet. Feltner, 4.68 ERA, 1.48 WHIP. He had a nice start at Cleveland last out. The market told us or indicated that was a big possibility. Brewers are hitting 252, 743 OPS. Rockies 253, 702 OPS versus righties. Brewers bullpen 2.97 ERA, 1.24 WHIP. Rockies bullpen 4.64 ERA, 1.43 WHIP. TJ Rockies team total over 4.5. Wow, what a bet that is! Just 4.5. That's wild to me. Let me just see what I'd be offered. That is a nice spot. And if I want to get involved, I have the 4.5. God, does that feel a little low here, Pete? Take it away. Brewers, Rockies.
I do like Colorado here just because of yes, definitely Peralta's a better pitcher, Milwaukee's better team. But at the line with the uncertainty involved, you can make this official. Colorado -1 plus 216. Current line at Heritage. The Pinnacle is 200. I'm going to take a Heritage's line. -1 plus 216. Colorado -1 plus 216. Yes, I know and agree that Milwaukee is the better team and has the better starter.
Wow. 4.5. Would you, if you had a choice between taking the over 11 at a -110 or the Rockies over team total over 4.5 at -120, what would it be?
Oh, I definitely take the full game over, because you see a lot of these games in Coors where it's like, you could have one team putting up 7 runs in a half inning. You don't want it to be like Milwaukee 9-3 or something like that. You know what I mean? And then you're like, why didn't I just take both teams over?
I like your look on this, Jay, a lot, and I like both looks, and I'm surprised that the 4.5 is sitting there. I'm not that surprised.
Colorado's kind of a shitty team, even at home.
Yeah, and they, but I'm going to move on both. I'm moving on the over 11 and the Rockies team total over 4.5. Great stuff. Great stuff. All right, we move on. Next up for us, and thank you to the chat. Great stuff. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Mariners 12-16, 5-7 on the road. Oakland Athletics 6-23, 3-12 at home at Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Let's go over to the weather here. 55 Fahrenheit and rain at first. So this game may be pushed back a little bit. If it is pushed back, the wind is not nearly as strong as it is off the start of the game. Just 9 miles per hour at the start of the game, but dies down to 5.3. So keep that in mind if you are looking at a total in this spot. Take a look at the line history here for this one. Seattle, Oakland, and Bryce Miller has been confirmed. Good. Thank you for letting us know that, Jose. Mariners opened up -138 to now -133, a 5-cent move to the Oakland A's. From a total perspective, this opened up at 8, -103 to the over. It's now -105 to the over. So very, very slight move to the over, but a very slight move to the A's. Slight move to the over, slight move to the A's. Let's see if the cash is with that. 12% of the tickets and 28% of the cash on Oakland. Just 12% of the tickets on Oakland, and we have a slight move towards them. That speaks a lot here. 40% of the tickets and 72% of the cash is on the under, and we don't have much moving on the under. Then let's move over to the question here, and that is Bryce Miller. Let's get Bryce Miller up here. Bryce Miller, 24-year-old out of Mount Pleasant, Texas. He went to Texas A&M, picked in the 4th round of the 2021 draft. And this year in Double-A, so he's not pitched in Triple-A before. This year in Double-A, he was just completely lit up. 19 2/3, 18 strikeouts and 3 walks, but he allowed 5 home runs in those 19 2/3, 14 earned runs. Completely lit up. Last year, he started at Modesto in Single-A and 5 1/3. Pitched great. Was immediately brought up to High A, where he went 3-3 with 3.24 ERA, 1.08 WHIP. No, excuse me, 1.02 WHIP. Very nice WHIP. And then he went up to Double-A, and he pitched well there. He went from A to High A to Double-A and looked good. This year in Double-A, he got completely lit up, but still was offered the opportunity to pitch in the majors. Going up against Mason Miller, who throws very, very hard, has had a tough start to his career. 8 1/3, 11 strikeouts and 2 walks, and no homers. But he's been hit, and he's been hit early. But the Mariners don't hit righties. 227, 686 OPS. A's versus righties, 216, 656 OPS. This feels to me, Pete, like an A's first 5 spot. And I probably should have figured that out this morning before I got here, but that's what it feels like to me. Jay's final take says pretty short line for a shitty team like Oakland. Line could be telling us Oakland is live. I think it is telling us Oakland is live. DC Capper is on the over 8. There's a Quinimus in the house. Ron Crawford says Oakland 3-11 home dog. Nope. He does not want to be in the Big Rock play of the day. Mason Miller over 5.5 Ks at plus 110.
Mm-hmm.
Take it away, Pete. A's at home to the Mariners.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. You can start off by adding Oakland first 3, current line at Caesars. Oakland first 3 plus 105. Oakland first 3 plus 105. As much of a bet on Mason Miller as a fade of Bryce Miller. Obviously, Bryce Miller at some point is likely to work his stuff out. They're very high on him. That doesn't happen by accident, but yeah, he's gotten hit in the minors. But again, though, it's that's only a third of why I like Oakland here. It's also a nice little play on Miller. I'm kind of high on him as well. I like the spot, dog line. So overall, we can make that official. I would also be liking the first 5 as well. And the strikeout props are interesting. Maybe the Mason over or the Bryce under are things to think about.
I want in on the first 3 as well. I want in on it. I was going to go first 5, but you're right. First 3 is a better way of betting it.
It's all just, yeah, right.
I'm with you. I'm completely with you. And TJ has BetUS has the Rockies team total over 4.5 at minus 110, but with only a $250 limit. I love what's happened here over the last couple of games. I love these additions to my action tonight that I'm going to bet. I think this is all excellent work. TJ says the Pirates line is out plus 155, and he says get it fast. Let's see here. It is Contreras versus Guerra. So Contreras is throwing. It's moved to plus 145 already at Bet365. We only have 2 games left, but let's go back to that Pirates game now that it's on the board, if you don't mind, Pete. Let's go back to that spot here, 6:40 p.m. Eastern, Pirates Rays. So Contreras is going against the bullpen day that starts Javi Guerra, and then Fleming takes over. Contreras has been very good lately. Why wouldn't we want to back Pittsburgh here early? I don't see what isn't very appealing on the Pirates here in this spot. What do you think, Pete, now that Contreras has been locked in?
Okay, where are you seeing the line?
Well, I've got it at Bet365. I'll see where it is everywhere.
I'm not seeing it at Pinnacle or Heritage yet.
We have a crazy line.
Oh, yeah, I see it at Caesars now.
Plus 185, Jay says, at 888 Sport. I don't need to take them full game. I don't need to. I want Contreras. The Pirates bullpen's been good. There shouldn't be any concern, but I just want that ability to fade Guerra or Guerra and have Contreras early. What do you think about this spot? Do you have any interest?
Yeah, I'm going to pass her right now. Got to look into it a little bit more. I mean, Fleming is the primary, and he's good. A lot of grounders. Tampa Bay knows how to beat teams.
Yeah. But I feel like we have an advantage off the hop. So a first 3 is something that I would like to be a part of here. And what would that first 3 be? Oh, it's not up yet. Those spots aren't up yet. First 5s and the first 3s for me. Yeah. Okay, I am interested. There's Dabby Cab in the house. Great to see you. For those of you who don't know, Medicate Mondays back in business here on Pub Sports Radio. They had a great show yesterday. It was excellent. All right, so Pirates' first 3 is something that I want to be involved in. Let's move on. 2 games left here on the board. First off, 9:40 p.m. Eastern, Cincinnati Reds 12-17, 3-11 on the road at the San Diego Padres, 16-14, 8-8 at home. We're at Petco Park in San Diego, California. Let's get into the weather here in San Diego. 60 Fahrenheit, 9.1 miles per hour left to right. It gets down to 7 miles per hour. 60 Fahrenheit. So this is not it is kind of warmer than it's been in San Diego tonight. We have Ashcraft going up against Waka. Take a look at the line history here. Ashcraft's been very good to us, but the market moving heavily, and I mean heavily, towards the Padres. Wow. Huge move towards the Padres. Opening up minus 165, now minus 199. Ooh-wee, 34-cent move over to the Padres. Total-wise, it's opened up at 8.5, juice to the over. It's now 8.5, juice to the under. Market screaming at us that Waka is going to be pitching well here. That is pretty fascinating. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this spot. You have 37% of the tickets on the Reds and 76% of the cash. All this money on the Reds. Why in the world is the market opening up their arms to more Cincinnati Reds money? 64% of the tickets, 97% of cash on the under. This is absolutely wild. Ashcraft cashed for us last week. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, 4 walks, 5-3 win at home over the Rangers, going up against John Gray Wolf. Waka coming off a decent start at the Cubs. 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 1 walk. Reds hitting just 243, 686 OPS versus righties. Padres not much better at 224, 717 OPS. And Reds bullpen being marginally better than the Padres bullpen thus far. Mike M says Reds lost 12 night games versus NL with winning records, not likely to improve tonight. Berkey, great to see Dave Berkey in the house. And there's Wham Bam 3000 ready to break down these 2 big NBA games with us. Take it away here for us, Pete. Reds, Padres.
Yeah, I mean, the Padres are obviously way better than the Reds. With Tatis back, they've been studs. I like Ashcraft, and my numbers indicated that he's probably going to be okay here as well. Waka, I think, is not nearly as bad as his overall numbers have been so far. So I was leaning Cincinnati as a big dog early, and also unders early. Not necessarily late, but Ashcraft could easily get hit, and San Diego has the bats to take advantage of it. Waka could easily be kind of crappy again. So I guess I'll hold off. But my leans definitely Cincinnati early, first 3 or first half as a big dog, and definitely first 3 or first half under. But I'll hold off on both for now.
Joe Yerker says the market doesn't like the Reds on the road. You're saying that. Wow. That's wild. I want nothing to do with this spot. I don't want to trust Waka here. I don't want to get in the way of this. And Ashcraft is put money in my account, and I don't want to. I'm just going to.
Yeah, I mean, I did. As soon as Tatis came back, I wasn't on the San Diego train the first game he was back, but relatively soon after he was back, I was like, oh, okay. And I started to jump on that train. And I'm still on it. Just not in this spot, with this line right now, especially not now.
Piker says first 5 was at plus 160 last night. Best he could find this morning was plus 145. So he says it is split here.
Right.
And sorry, let's move back.
I mean, I would definitely agree with that. If you have a proclivity for live betting and it's relatively close or Cincinnati's up early, yeah, San Diego live bet is a no-brainer.
That's absolutely right. Even this morning, this opened up at Bet Online at plus 150, and it's now plus 130. It's wild. That's absolutely wild.
Yeah, you know what? All right, I'm seeing it at Caesars right now. We'll take a shot. We're having a little bit of fun here, whatever. I'll take first 3 innings, Cincinnati plus 140. Cincinnati first 3 plus 140.
Wow, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
Loshak is on the Reds first 5 at plus 140. Wow. That is wild to see them move so heavy full game and against them, but with them first 5. I mean, that's absolutely wild. All right, I don't want anything to do with that one. Let's move on to the final spot on the board. Finally, we finally arrived at the spot that I doubled up on the under. I did not get the 8.5 like our friend TJ, but I got 8 and I got 4, and I like it. Berkey says Padres getting sucked from behind today, Pete.
Yeah.
Phillies.
It happens to the best of them. It happens to the best.
Phillies 15.
So don't feel so bad, Jose.
Phillies 15-15, 7-10 on the road at the Dodgers 17-13, 10-6 at home. Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, California. So at first, I got very caught up in the Dodgers not hitting lefties again. 174, 626 OPS. That I wanted the Phillies first 5. That was my first thought, inclination. I was going over everything. Matt Strom should be able to, pitch well against this Dodgers team. It's not hitting lefties. Yeah, North Ender, it's wild. That's wild. It's a wild. Urias has not looked good, but so he's allowed 2 home runs in each of his last 3 starts. He's allowed 7 home runs in 32 2/3, but 6 in his last 3 starts. And the Phillies are hitting 277.53 OPS versus lefties. But what I started thinking about, and Sandy Alcantara is sort of in a similar situation, yet the difference is, of course, that Sandy, is pitching against the same team he just faced 5 days ago, which adds another wrinkle of complication. But here with Urias, he's had 2 road starts back-to-back against teams that are hitting the ball hard in the Cubs and the Pirates. And it was the second time in a row that he faced the Cubs. So you could look at his regular season numbers that are bad. You could look at his last start, that's bad. Or you could look at the fact that he's thrown 11 2/3 innings at home and allowed just 2 runs. Struck out 12 and walked 1. And that's what I decided to focus on. And I do not want the Dodgers and their inability to hit lefties. So I got off of the Phillies first 5, and I got on to the first 5 under and the full game under. And that's what I bet. So I'm on the under 8 and under 4. And I got on the under 8, I got minus 115. On the under 4, I got minus 105. Those were both at Bet 365. When I go back to Bet 365 right now, it's still there. There's been a 5-cent move. The 8's now minus 120. It's now minus 120. And the first 5 is exactly where it was. 4 minus 105. So there's been very little change here. Let's take a look at the line history. I was hoping there was more of a change. I was hoping that we'd see a 7.5 there when I went there just now. But that's not the case. Line movement-wise, the Dodgers opened up at minus 155. They're now minus 149. 5-cent move to the Phillies. That was the exact same move that I was looking at this morning. From a total perspective, it opened up at 8, minus 101 to the under. It's now minus 111 to the under, a 10-cent move. But there has been buyback on the over. This under got to minus 116, and then they were showing 7.5s with just minus 115 to the over, and I guess that got bet. Cash-wise here for our last baseball game on the board. And TJ said, good logic. Mine followed the same. Got to be quicker, though. Yeah, no doubt about it. I got to be quicker to it. It was the final baseball game to cap, but I didn't need to do much work on NHL. I kind of had everything figured out there. I should have got to it quicker. Total-wise, 43% of the tickets, 84% of the cash is on the under. And the market had been moving to the under. There still is a move to the under, not as big as I would like it to be. 38% of the tickets, 64% of cash on the Phillies, telling me the Phillies first 5 is live. Hunter Engelhardt said he paid 8 cents juice on the Phillies team total over 3.5. Mike M says, I think the Phillies' plan last night was to gas out all the bats for the Dodgers to keep the rest of the series lower scoring. And the Spenny is on 168, 1268. I thought you already gave out. Oh, you switched it up, Spenny? Sorry. Or is this race 2? Please tell me what's going on, Spenny. I'm a little confused. Take it away for us here. Pistol Pete Loshak, Phillies, Dodgers.
Yeah, I would love to take a shot with Philly -1, but I think I'm gonna hold off. I'm not. I think Urias. I mean, he's adjusting, to the new rules, new situation. I think in general, he's going to be okay long term going forward. Really want to take Philly -1, but this is one of the ones where if it wins, yeah, I'll be frustrated and pissed off. But I'm not going to make it official. I'll hold off for now. Harper's coming back. I'm going to hold off for now.
They're saying Harper back in the lineup. I wasn't sure if he'd be back immediately in the lineup, but I guess they're saying that he will be. I want the Phillies. Would you have been leaning to full game over first 5?
Yes, definitely.
Why is that such a defiant thing?
Just because I'm not looking at Urias and being like, oh, he sucks now. Like, I think he's going to be all right. He's definitely having some fundamental issues that he's going to need to adjust to, but I think he will be able to.
I think that Urias could pitch well here. Why wouldn't he? If you look at what he's done at home so far this year, even with his issues with the clock and everything. So I'll stick with these 2 unders. But if I had a free bet, it would be on the Phillies, not the Dodgers. So there's my double up spot. And there's MLB. Let's review all MLB action and then get into NBA with our guy, Wham Bam. Here we go. First off, Marlins first 5 going to be a move that I am making. Pete Loshak is on the Nerfy at -125. The first 3 under 2.5. TJ gave us the gift play of the day on the Marlins, and Jorge don't play is the Nerfy is his Meadowlark Lemon play of the day. That is Braves Marlins. Mets Tigers. We stayed off. I'm going to be on the Pirates first 3 today. Loshak is on the under 9 at -115. And I'm not going to be moving on it. Although I like it. But just not quite. You know what? I want to look at it longer. I'm going to still look at it longer. I'm going to keep all that there. Then Mike M. Naylor. RBI at +185. Is write it down, Peter. Play of the day. And he's 1-0 +3 units because he gave out Richardson. Draft prop. 3rd overall. Loshak's on the Guardians, first 5 team total under 1.5, and I'm going to be on the first 5 under 3.5. Twins, White Sox, nothing. Jose is on the Jays, first 5 -0.5 at +100. Loshak's on the Orioles, first 3 at -150, and you said you were going to give me the number for the Orioles -1. What was it?
Oh, yeah, -130. That was just a pinnacle line, -130.
Mike M's hip to be square play today, Orioles, Dodgers, +164. He's 14-13 on the year, +3.54 units. Justin McElvey stacks play of the day's Mountcastle over 1.5 bases at -129. The stacks play of the day's 4-3. And Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day's Baltimore -1 at -127. Jose Seje play of the day's the over 9 at -105 and Angels Cards. Loshak's on the Angels first 3 at +100. I'm off that game. Loshak's on the Diamondbacks first 3 at -150 and the first 5 -147. I'm off that. Loshak is on the Astros. First 3 under 2.5 -125. Hunter Brown over 6.5 Ks at +100. I'm off. Loshak's on the Rockies -1 at +216. I am on the over 11 and the Rockies team total over 4.5. I haven't bet those yet. I will be betting them. And yes, the gift record is 15-5. And Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today is on the New York Knicks -5.5 from our guy Ron Crawford. Let me copy and paste that. Okay, so then. The Loshak's on the A's first 3 at +105. I'm going to be riding with that. The Big Rock play today from Rocco Rogers is Mason Miller over 5.5 strikeouts at +110. Loshak's on the Reds first 5 at +140. And I doubled up on Phillies Dodgers. One question on the Phillies Dodgers double up that I'm on. Why aren't you interested in that?
Which one?
You think it's
Urias, planning on some jokes for the what? I'm sorry, Jim.
Urias, the vulnerability.
I just Mike M has some great stats that I wasn't aware of. That's always interesting and illuminating. I just I don't really want to fade Urias right now, and Harper coming back. I'm just not a huge believer in Philly right now at this moment. I'm going to pass.
And if I give you a free $500 bet on the total at 8.
Oh God, that is hard, man. Ooh. I guess I take over. You know, the Dodgers could hit that Philly guy. I guess I take over. I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't like to hear that.
I'm also slightly below 50% on totals this year in baseball, Jim. So consider that. Consider the source at all times.
No, I don't. It still concerns me. There is MLB. Spenny Pennybomb says we need to see what's up with Randall and Brunson. Well, we have just the man for the job. Our NBA expert here every Tuesday on Loshak and the Bag. Coming to us from Compton, California. Please welcome Wham Bam 3000 to the show.
Yes. I gotta wait for the sound effects. Sorry, y'all. They're a little slow today. Sound effects are a little slow. It's all good.
Now there's a guy who gets it the normal way from the front, right?
What up?
There you
go.
Oh man. All right. A lot of game time decisions here. Wham Bam 30-30. We also have Ron Crawford giving us a spreadsheet play on the New York Knicks -5.5. Let's get right to work. Juan Ruiz says Wham Bam 3000 don't play. Let's go. East semifinals game 2, Miami up 1-0. Much to my chagrin with my 33-1 conference bet and 100-1 chip bet. Did not like seeing the Heat dominate the second half like they did. Let's take a look at also everybody talking about Randall being out. Obviously, that's a big deal, but Obi Toppin, no turnovers, 18 points, and 8 boards. I mean, he wasn't the problem. Maybe the offense that's missing with Randall being able to stretch D's in the perimeter, that's legit, but it wasn't Obi's fault. Let's break this down. Madison Square Garden. The Heat were just 17-24 on the road, but man, do they look like juggernauts right now. Knicks just 23-18 at home over the regular season. And man, all the famous people coming out to Madison Square Garden for this one and for the last one. Pace-wise, this series opener was played at 95 possessions a game. The Heat played their regular season at 96.76 in the playoffs so far, being quicker, 100.83 possessions a game. The Knicks have played their playoffs at 93 possessions a game. Regular season, they were 97.75 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here and the cash flow. We're going to go to Pistol Pete Loshak first, and then Wham Bam will put the finishing touches or the expertise on it here. Let me just move over to the cash flow and everything. So let's go. Here we go. This opened up, and we've been talking a lot about this spread. This opened up at -5.5 for the Knicks at -105. It lasted there for 3 minutes before it became 6. It lasted just 2 minutes after that before it became 6.5. Then it got juiced and juiced. It got up to -114. Then all of a sudden, Jimmy Butler was on the court. We had Dan Kelly come in thinking that Butler was not going to play and that this line could move to 10. But Butler is on the court for his shoot-around. It quickly moved to 6. And at some books, 5.5. If you want the 6 on the Heat, it's juiced to -109, whereas the Knicks are just -101. Take a look at the total here. This opened up at 207.5. It started getting bet to the under. It dropped to 206.5. We're thinking Butler wouldn't be there. It's sitting at 208 right now at a pick'em. Go over to the cash flow for this one. 51% of the tickets and 89% of the cash is on the Heat. I wonder how much of those bets were with the expectation that Jimmy Buckets wouldn't be on the floor. 43% of the tickets and 70% cash on the under. The same thing can be said there. So Danny Lopez says quickly will have to be better. Rick J says ESPN was hyping Jimmy's injury like they're done. Always makes me nervous when ESPN hypes anything. Mike M says he expects the Knicks trifecta here. Says the Heat came in off that high from the Bucks. Troy Torrance says home favorites who lost game 1 in round 2, 13-7 against the spread and 16-4 straight up. That is since 2018, 5-0. That's omitting the bubble. Home teams are undefeated against spread in games 2 so far in the playoffs with a massive win margin. Here we go. Pistol Pete Loshak, what are your thoughts? Game 2, East semifinals, Heat Knicks.
I know that Ron Crawford or Dan Kelly likes the Knicks. I think Ron Crawford said he likes the Knicks as well. They had no Randall yesterday, and they still rolled in the first quarter. No brainer to me. Says just look at the spot in the situation. Knicks first quarter. Maybe if you want to be a little bit safe, buy down to -2 or something like that if you can. I know it's a high line for a quarter line, but no brainer play says maybe Knicks first quarter, and second level no brainer play maybe Knicks first half.
And there are 2s available. Bet Chris, Bookmaker, Bodog. Interesting. That's a very interesting way of looking at it. Let's hear what Wham Bam has to say. East semifinals, game 2, Heat Knicks.
He said it. Take the early spot with the Knicks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not broke. It is not broke. It didn't lose last game. It did not lose last game. It is not broke. We do not need to fix it. I'm taking the Knicks first half -4. That's official play from me. It was one of the, like you said, it doesn't matter who's in the lineup. I do know that Jalen Brunson, his ankle scare is not at the magnitude of Jimmy's. So I expect him to be out there, especially if Jimmy Butler's out there. I want Jimmy out there, man. I ain't going to lie. I want him to stretch it all the way out. I want him to be able to get to the nitty gritty here. But I will say this too. And I've been hearing it all day when I hear people talk about this game is one thing or another with this damn Heat team, man. We'll say, hey, Gabe Vincent is not going to do that, but today could be Max Strus day. You know what I'm saying? But we could say Max Strus doesn't do it, and Kyle Lowry goes crazy out there. I think what Kyle Lowry was talking about with Jalen Brunson is that he's an all-NBA type player. They tried to press him. They weren't able to do that. He still had 5 turnovers, so they were able to do something with him. But the turnovers that I really want to key in on was the fucking guy, RJ Barrett, bro. Like, goddamn, 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter. They definitely, I just think that he's just terrible at a timing when he want to do dumb shit there. So hopefully he gets his act together. I hope that Randall is in this game here, but even if he isn't, man, like last time, like I said, it didn't break. We did not need to fix it. Knicks first half cash for me, and I'm going right back to the well with that. And as far as the Heat, I think that they already did what they had to do. I don't think you have to press guys like Bam, guys like Jimmy today. If they are, like you said, down at the half, they probably will get those guys probably up out of here. So I think it's going to be a situation that we have to find out on a live play. If you do like the Heat, you may be able to get those adjustments again with Eric Spoelstra. We've seen the crazy adjustment that he made in that first game. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does the same thing again, because I mean, is it hard to outcoach Tibbs? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so, especially if Eric Spoelstra does the right thing. So I think those guys are capable. As much as I've been talking shit about the Heat, I think they are capable of making this a continued series here. But I think with Randall coming back possibly, and with this kind of being like a game that they don't really have to care too much about, especially the Heat, knowing that they already have home court, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a blowout with the Knicks there. So I don't want to say anything positive here about the Heat here, but I'm on the Knicks, bro. I'm on the Knicks first half. I think the Heat probably make it tough again in the second half here, but I'm not going to bank on that pregame. We just have to see in the live spot. Knicks first half is where I'm going to go, though, -4.
There are 3.5s on the board at legit books. One of them at -110, so we can give you that. Brunson was 0 of 7 from 3, Barrett 1 for 5, and Hart 0 for 4. So if you can think those 3 guys going 1 of 16 from 3, obviously they lose. You touched about Barrett down the stretch not looking good, but overall 26 points, 9 boards, 7 assists. So
offense was straight. It just decision making towards the end is like, we don't want him having the ball just as much as we don't like Westbrook having the ball. They just do stupid shit at the wrong time, like not knowing the magnitude of this possession type of things. And I've seen it happen last game. I'm like, man, if it's a close game, man, we really need to win. This is the type of shit that's gonna happen. That's all I would say. But he did play well. I'm not trying to talk shit about him like I would Aiden or anything. He's definitely playing well.
No, I feel you. Gabe Vincent has been so strong, and you have Lowry coming off the bench so strong. Bam, is so consistent, but they got crushed from 3. The Knicks go 7 of 34, outscored 39-21. That changes. The Knicks win, and I expect that to change Brunson was beating himself up after the game, saying how horrific he was. I expect him to step up, even though there are some concerns about the right ankle. He's listed as questionable.
Yeah, it's sore. I don't think he's going to miss the game. It's just sore.
So Torrey Coker looking at Bam, double. We have Andrew G on Barrett assists over. BJ has given us his best bet, Knicks money line and Warriors money line team parlay at plus 109. Knicks Warriors parlay here for BJ and putting a K down on that spot. Rick J says has to be the Knicks today. Spending penny bombs on Mitchell Robinson, 10 plus boards, topping 3+ threes. Brunson 4+ threes. I feel like there was a lot of pressure on the Knicks. They were the hunted all of a sudden. They weren't the underdog. People had high expectations of them, and I think they're going to be much, much better here. Torrey Coker, though, says he spending penny bombs on Strus, 3+ threes, Lowry 5+ assists, Kevin Love 7+ boards. What did you expect from Julius Randle tonight and in this series? Bam.
That's to me. Okay, so yeah. I think if Julius Randle comes in, he's definitely going to help them on the boards. You know what I mean? It's only going to be another guy that's going to allow them box out guys and things of that nature. So having toughness, being up in there, I think he's going to bring that energy. And we know what type of attitude, what type of shot making he's been doing this season. He's actually been playing really well from three. So I think they do need that three. As much as it was laughable when hearing it coming out your mouth, maybe he stretched the floor with the D, even though it's kind of like suspect way to say it, like, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I think he is going to knock down shots if he comes in. I don't think he's going to be a miss out of the rhythm. I don't think he's going to be out of rhythm so much that it's going to affect the offense with the Knicks, because when it gets down to that needy, greedy time, you got guys like Jalen Bronson and hopefully RJ Barrett making right decisions there to, get the possessions further. Because I think that you are going to see them being able to battle on the boards here. I think they should be able to hold down the boards here through the adjustments that they're making with mostly on the perimeter base for the Heat. I think the inside needs to be dominant for this Knicks team in order for them to blow out. So I see him coming back doing nothing but helping them on the physicality side. And if he could get that little three dropping, it's only going to be a bonus, bro.
What is your confidence? What percentage would you give that Randall's on the floor tonight?
That shit tough because, it's tough because he looked real hurt, in that last series. So, and the fact that they were able to beat.
No indication at all that he's going to play tonight. I
don't think he's playing either, but if I was to put a percentage on it, bro, I would say probably about 45%. Because I think even though they probably don't need him, this is still one of those things that they need to make a statement today, especially in front of their home fans, give some type of assurance, having them coming back, maybe not being as effective, just again doing the little things around the boards, being physical. I think that's all they really need from them. You know what I mean? And stretching the floor is going to just be a plus, in my opinion. So I say 45%.
For everybody watching here, do you think that you're better off? Because I think that Randall, now this is, look, I don't like guessing. We're guessing here. But I think there's a better chance that Randall does not play. So you gave 45. I would go around 35% chance he plays. So then for everybody watching, myself included, are we better off waiting for Randall to be announced out?
Same what happened last game. The line moved originally like all hella crazy. Then it went right back. Like I had the 2.5 in the first half. It went right back to 2.5. You know what I mean? As far as the first half. So it wasn't that much of a movement. I think people love this Knicks team, and we're going to see action on them. Interesting that the line is moving a little bit, though. You know what I mean? As far as where it's moving now. So, but I think that's just because you're going to see Jimmy Butler probably give it a go.
All right. Well, I think that my plan will be to wait on this spot. I really would like to. I want to jump all over the Knicks, but I just wonder, am I going to get a better number if I'm patient here? And I think that is the case. Troy says, I actually think no Randall, no Butler, but Brunson is in. So
Yeah, Brunson's just sore, bro. He coming. It's playoffs, bro.
I wonder if so what would your advice be? To wait or to bet now?
I don't think it means anything if you're waiting or not. But it's always good to wait, I guess, in the NBA. So if I was to tell anyone that's, it's with their own money, if you don't feel comfortable betting now, definitely just wait. You know what I'm saying? Because that way you just get more clarity. You're not going to miss that much of the line movement at all. Because if Randall is in, I don't think it's going to affect it that much as much as if he's out. And if Jimmy Butler's in, you're probably going to get a better number with the Knicks. So being able to wait is all good. But I locked it in at 4. I ain't mad at the 3.5 with that first half at all either. I don't think it's going to change too much. I expect these guys to wire to wire. Shout out to Razor, everyone else that said they like the first quarter, first half with the Knicks here. I agree with all that, man.
Yeah, Jim, you can put Knicks first quarter -2, -118 for me. That's at Pinnacle. -2, -118 Knicks first quarter. And also, could you add in one more for baseball, Jim? Cleveland Yankees, no run in the first inning, -126. Could you add that one on? Cleveland Yankees, no run.
I'm a little surprised that is not more expensive.
What?
The no run, the Nerfy and the.
I know. Add that one on there, Jim. Thanks very much. And okay. Knicks first quarter, -2, -118. Man, ooh, a lot of plays this show.
Nerfy is the -127 there?
Yeah, I like that look a lot.
-126. Cleveland Yankees. No run first inning.
Can find you that first quarter at -1.
So we believe in Tanner, Loshak, right? We believe in Tanner. I believe in Garrett Cole for sure, but we believe in Tanner.
Long term, yes. In this spot, enough to take that.
Got you.
Yeah.
I love it. I like that look.
We can get you -110 or obviously we'll take you -108, but we can get that juice wiped right off of that.
First quarter, -108, -2, -108. What book is that?
Well, it's -110 at a bunch of books.
All right, I'll take that. I'll take that.
No, but it's at Bookmaker. I've got -110 at Bookmaker, but he's on the site right now. So let's just grab that.
All right. First quarter, -2, -110. Ooh.
No, but if he's on the site and sees -108, then let's just do that. My site might not be updating. All right. Well, I would like to not be, cute here. And Billy Friedrich just betted at -108. I would like to drop the Knicks trifecta.
Mm-hmm.
And not be cute, not pick my spots, but take them first quarter, first half, full game.
Yeah.
I just wonder. I expect Randall to be announced out, and I expect Butler to be in. I don't think Butler needs 6 days off either. He's a warrior out there. So,
yeah, gonna cook.
But if I take the trifecta, I just don't want to move on it now when I could get a 1.5, a 1.5, 3.5, 5, or a 1.5, 3, 5. Mike M, did you bet it now or are you waiting? I'd like to know. Okay, please tell me. I'd love to hear from all of you guys whether you are waiting or betting it now. Okay, let's move on to game 2 here. Our final game on today's show, West Semifinals Game 1. The matchup we all wanted. Every one of us, except Dennis Garcia, wanted this matchup. LA Lakers, 43-39, 20-21 on the road. The Golden State Warriors, 44-38, 33-8 at home. We're at Chase Center in San Francisco, California. The Warriors were the fastest team pace-wise in the regular season at 102.54 possessions a game. In the playoffs, they played a pace 103.93. Lakers played very fast in the regular season, 101.92. Slightly slower in the playoffs thus far, 100.18 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for the game we all want to watch. Lakers Warriors. As you guys know, I have the Lakers, all you guys have the Lakers. I have the Warriors to win the West and to win the chip. So I got 333 and +900. By the way, you guys know I took the Dallas Stars at +900 to win the Cup immediately, +600 once Seattle took out Colorado. So I like that. But here we go. Lakers open up at +4.5. They're now at +5. Slightly juiced at the 5. Very slightly. Total-wise, it's opened up at 228. It's now at 226.5. Jay says this is a 3-unit play for him. Golden State -155. Grabbed it right away on Score Bet. All right.
God damn, Razor. God damn.
Let's go. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. Move over to all markets. Here we go. So 19%. Oh, sorry. Look at the wrong one there. 31% of the tickets. That's the money line. Sorry, guys. 39% of the tickets are on the Lakers and 52% of the cash. So slightly bigger bets coming in on the Lakers. 59% of tickets and 91% of the cash on the under. So, look, we haven't seen these teams go head-to-head since 91, but in the postseason. But we've watched LeBron and Steph go head-to-head, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Lakers have a major rest advantage. They dominated the Grizzlies 125-85 on Friday night. Russell went for 31. AD, LeBron combined for 38 and 19. They had 3 days off since clinching the win. The Warriors' 120-100 road win was on Sunday. No rest for the Wicked. Curry set an NBA record for Game 7 with 50 points. Kevon Looney is looking better and better and better every game. Now, I mean, when are we going to start talking about elite? I can't believe I'm saying that in Kevon Looney, but 15.1 rebounds a game. Everything he's doing is within the flow of the game. He's been very impressive here, and he'll be on AD. I'm very curious, Wham, about that matchup. If you could touch on that matchup. Pistol Pete, Loshak, your thoughts, Lakers, Warriors.
Dude, I have no friggin' clue. Although something tells me maybe just a lot of times we have these huge matchups. The road team comes in and it takes the first fire or whatever, however you want to pronounce it. So I was thinking maybe Lakers first quarter plus 1.5. That's what I was thinking.
And Mike M says they said Steph was so upset after Game 6 he was texting Raymond at 4 a.m. Then gave the all-time pregame speech and went off for 50.
Yeah.
Says Lakers in trouble tonight. And BJ says, don't bet the Lakers today. I'm telling you in capital letters. Wham bam! Take it away, Lakers, Warriors.
Now, I want to be clarified. Pete, you say you like the first quarter. Is it
just
total?
The first quarter, just because it's like, the Golden State's going to roll, and they probably do. But then sometimes you see one of these like 28, 30 first quarters, and you're like, all right,
So you like the Lakers first quarter?
First quarter, yeah.
I like that too. I'm on Lakers first quarter plus 115 money line. Let's talk about it, Pete. We ain't talked before this game, man. I love when we align here.
Mm-hmm.
On the Lakers, again, first quarter plus 115 money line. Yeah, man, it is a tough ass game, bro. Of course, this is the matchup we all wanted. We all wanted this matchup, bro. And then, matter of fact, give me 1 second, bro. My son just cut his phone on. Let me cut this shit down. Is it? Can you hear it in the background? Okay,
no.
Perfect. I'm overreacting here, but I think someone is in the line and they in my brain here, and I want to make sure I get the comment right because I heard the was it? Oh, Billy Friedrich. He said it. Trot Wam. Clank Thompson was clanking him in Game 7. Now that was after that legendary speech. How legendary was this speech, y'all? It only worked for Looney. You know what I'm saying? It only worked for Looney, apparently, because he got 21 boards. You know what I'm saying? He was out there on the offensive glass, 10 offensive rebounds. He was really working. He thought this was Game 7, but Clank didn't. You know what I'm saying? 4 for 19, 2 for 10 from 3. He kept shooting them. Jordan Poole knew what he was doing, and they knew what Jordan Poole was going to do. They pulled his ass right up out of there. Only 19 minutes, bro. He wasn't out there that long because your boy, the GOAT, went crazy, 20 for 38. They needed every point that they got from him. Obviously, they won by 20, but his normal 35 wouldn't have been done. It wouldn't have done it. He needed that 50, bro. They needed that 50. I think that he's going to be, not saying he's tired, but he ain't going to be able to give you that production in this series. I don't think he's going to be able to give you that. He will give you a 45-plus game. I will say that. I think he's going to give you that, but having the whole load all on him, I think that is so problematic, man, especially when you look on the other side of the ball. You will usually see that for LeBron James. Well, the tables have turned, light-skinned man. The tables have turned. Now you got to do everything. And I get to chill here and watch Rui bust y'all ass. Get to see AD go crazy on Looney because he always go crazy on Looney. And then, come on, man, Draymond Green, We know he big clutch. He over there, the secret spy. He gonna make sure he does everything in his power to make sure they lose this series because he ain't gonna be a Warrior no more. So it's over with, man. It's over with. Give me the Lakers on the first quarter. I'm also taking the Lakers to win the series at plus 125. We have to get that out as official play as well.
Wow.
We have to give it out as well. It's not going to cash after the first game, y'all. So you just got to let that one out. Don't get me wrong. I love the Lakers in the full game spot. The fact that the Warriors at the house, and we already talked about the last game, they got Scott Foster already over there. You know what I'm saying? So, they're going to make sure the Knicks come out 1-1 with that one. But in this game, I don't know. This may be a fill-out game. You may have some guys be able to hold it down. I don't think Dante DiVincenzo is going to be effective in this series. I think Gary Payton Jr. will have to have a big role in this series because his defensive prowess at the perimeter. I think they need him out there for sure. I'm interested in seeing how Moses Moody and Kuminga play because Kuminga is definitely going to be. They're going to let Kuminga shoot. They're going to let Kuminga shoot. So he's going to be at the perimeter chunking up threes. They might pull his ass up out of there after a few threes. So I really love this game. I'm really excited about this game. To each his own. Do what you want to do in this game. I did call off from work. I was supposed to be scheduled to work tonight. I'm not going into work tonight. We about to have 1942 drink. We about to have champagne popping. It's going to fuck down. This is going to be a great ass game. Shout out to everybody who's going to enjoy it. We going fucking crazy. I just think that LeBron doesn't have to do as much, man. Austin Reeves is going to have a great series. You still got to look at D'Lo in a revenge factor, possibly having some type of, some type of animosity towards this Warriors team. I think he has only but greatness towards them, but I think he still has to show that he's, worthy of a contract still. He still got to ball out. And we seen how it was when Kyrie showed up. He wanted to have his all-time great game. He had playoff career high when Kyrie's on the front line. I think he's going to have that same similar motivation going up against his old team too. So I'm looking to see how he plays. I don't have to worry about Vanderbilt. I think he's going to be solely on Steph in this game. So I think they're going to try to make it hard. Vanderbilt is not going to be able to stop Steph. Let's not make that a case. But the fact, again, they're coming off of game 7. He had to do everything. I don't think his supporting cast is as strong as the Lakers. Give me the Lakers, man. I think the Lakers come out hot, plus 115 in the first quarter, and to win the series. We're going to take the plus 125. And I like the full game. I like the full game too, bro, but I'm going to have to patiently wait. We will be live on shows this today because, again, man, we tapped in. We drinking big tonight, bro. We're going up.
Wow. Jim, you can write down for me also Lakers first quarter plus 1.5 minus 106. That's the current line at Pinnacle. And some interesting comments here. Nutflush Allen, who does know this shit. Lakers getting rolled. He says all the antics on the sidelines are ridiculous. Are they shooting dope into their arms after every shot? I mean, depends on what kind of dope, like heroin. No, that would not do that. But meth, yes. It depends on what kind of dope. I believe dope can mean either meth or heroin, but I'm not sure. But point is, Nutflush Allen thinks Lakers are getting rolled. Tell me you just didn't say that. Makes a point that Lakers going from playing Grizzlies shit offense to Warriors offense going to be a huge shock to the system. But, I mean, they've played all these teams over and over again. I don't know if it's going to be a shock to the system. Man, this is tough.
Wham, did you tweet out your action, or can I give you best lines available?
You can give me best lines available. I haven't tweeted it out yet.
First quarter is plus 131 at Pinnacle. It's plus 133 at 5 dimes. The Lakers series is plus 130 at Bet365. I'm not sure if we can find better than that, but it's a little better.
I love that. Appreciate you, bro.
So let's get you those. And Loshak Lakers first quarter plus 1.5 minus 103.
Minus 106, yeah. Jay's final take says
found a bookmaker.
Okay, great. Jay's final take says people forgetting that the Warriors played bad. It was Steph that carried them. Expect a bounce back from the whole squad. Wow. So maybe Steph first quarter under points. Maybe that.
I think we're going to see a Jordan Puddle and a Clank Thompson today.
Round 2, game 1, home favorites between -2 and -5.5 are 5-16 against the spread and 9-12 straight up. That's from our Troy Torrance right there. I do not need to get involved here. I got the Warriors to move on, to win the West, and it's far too early. I'm very concerned about the winner of the other series in the West. Very, very concerned. So I'm going to not hedge or anything with the Lakers. So I'm going to sit back and watch this one. Lakers first quarter money line for Wham Bam Lakers series. So 133 and 130 respectively. And Loshak on the Lakers first quarter plus 1.5 at -103.
What about Steph Curry first quarter total points under 7.5? Is that just too sick of a thing to think about?
What do you think, Wham?
Steph Curry first quarter points. How was the points?
Under 7.5 plus 100.
Under 7.5. Jesus Christ, that's
because
tough.
maybe the other maybe if they roll, it is the rest of the team that rolls. Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud here. Fascinating game.
Jay loved it.
In the Shout out to Razor. Razor asked me if I'm drinking Fireball again. I was drinking Fireball, unfortunately, because I only was able to go to the gas station. So that's the only reason why I'm going to Costco, Razor.
I love it. Now, I need to ask something here before I decide to fire on the trip. Is the triple up on the Knicks? And I hate to go back to the Knicks, but is the triple up on the Knicks just simple, too simple? I mean, a lot of us thought game 5 in Milwaukee was a spot where the Bucks should have been bet, and the Heat completely, ruined all of those plans. Is the same thing so possible here that a triple up is just not the move that should be made here in game 2 because the Knicks can stifle all of that? The Knicks don't care about, we've got the one road win, that's enough, and they showed that in Milwaukee.
I think that difference between those two series is that the defense was totally different for the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks is definitely way better defensively. They were allowing them to shoot 75% from Duncan Robinson, 40% from 3 the whole series or something like that. They only shot 33%. Obviously, they still won, but the other them shoot 20% was the problem there. So I think I like the Knicks, man. I feel like if you wait, just chill out. You know what I mean? Because you may not have a big CLV advantage or anything like that if you bet it now or later. I think it's going to be similar.
And then one thing for Equanimus, with Steph just came off 50 automatic under. I just want to make that clear. In the only real success I ever had with player props was, betting the under after a huge game. Let me stress that was regular season. Right. The playoffs are a different animal. And when everybody was saying to take Butler's under after he went for 56, I said, don't do it. The playoffs are a different animal. And then he went off again. It's just different. It's not regular season because everything is on the line and everybody's watching.
Yeah. NHL's the same way. NHL's the same way. You know that, Jim, of course.
Yeah. So I just, that's not saying don't bet it, Equanimus, but just so we're on the same page, I think that I throw that shit out the window in the playoffs personally. I throw it out the window. This was a lot of fun.
Yes.
These two series are so much fun. I can't wait to talk about this one and, everything going on tomorrow night as well. I mean, it's just the playoffs are set up perfectly for us to enjoy it and to bet it. So there we go. J.E. says Jimmy's not Steph, two different players. I'm just saying that if you use that process in the regular season, you will succeed heavily. If you use it in the playoffs, you're playing with fire. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I love it. Wham Bam, thank you for taking the time to rock with us. It means a ton. What's coming up for you this week? Pub Sports Radio, who banging? What's going on?
Yeah, man. We'll be right back under any circumstances. Don't ever miss this show, man. Under any circumstances, Dylan Brooks ain't gonna be back at the Memphis Grizzlies either. That's funny. But yeah, man, I'll be back here on Tuesday. Then also we'll be doing the pub show, similar NBA show with Ski on Friday, and then we'll be back on Who Bangin' Sports Wednesday and Sunday, man. Y'all know what it is, bro. We'll be back.
Well, thank you for taking the time to run with us. Wham Bam 30-30 in the house. Let's review all action. We've done NBA. So in NHL, Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is the Leafs in regulation. I'm staying off Leafs, Panthers. I would prefer not to bet game ones, but the statistical advantage with what the Stars excel at is too monstrous for me not to bet them in game one and not to put a big bet on them for the series. And it's too bad. It's just too bad that the Kraken have this matchup because I would love to believe in what we just saw from Colorado, and I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. I think the Stars are just the kryptonite for the Kraken. Pete came with me on the -1, and Pete's also on Seattle team total under 2.5. Then in baseball, the gift play today at 15-5 is the Marlins money line. Jorge Don't plays on the Nerfy. That's his Meadowlark Lemon play today. Loshak's on the Nerfy and the first 3 under 2.5. I'm moving on the Marlins first 5 as soon as I can. Then Mets Tigers, we stayed off. I'm going to be on the Pirates first 3 as soon as the show's over. Loshak's on the under 9 in Cubs Nats. I still want to look at it a little more because I like it. It didn't all correlate, but I'm going to give it another once over. Mike M, the write it down Pete play today is Naylor RBI, Canada's own. Naylor RBI plus 185. Loshak's on the Guardians first 5 team total under 1.5. He added the Nerfy at -127.
126, 126, 126.
-126. I'm on the first 5 under 3.5. I'll see what that Nerfy is over at BetOnline after the show. But let's see what it is here on Bet365 right now because I'd like to get involved in that run in the first inning. Wow, just -130. That just feels low.
I'm feeling nervous as hell about my whole MLB card here, Jimmy the Bag, but that's all right. That's all right because, we bet size appropriately. This is all about fun primarily. Nervous as hell.
I'm adding the Nerfy. Okay. Twins, White Sox, no action. Jose is on the Jays first 5 -0.5 at +100. Loshak's on the Orioles first 3. The Orioles -1 at -130. Hip to be square play today's Orioles Dodgers at +164. Justin McElvey stacks play today. Mountcastle over 1.5 bases. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today's Baltimore -127. Jose Seje play today is the over 9 in Angels Cardinals. Loshak's on the Angels first 3 at +100. Loshak's on the Diamondbacks first 3 -150. First 5 -147. He's on the Astros Giants first 3 under 2.5 and Hunter Brown over 6.5 Ks at even money. Loshak's on the Rockies -1 at +216. I'm going to be adding the over 11 and the Rockies team total over 4.5. Loshak's on the A's first 3 at +105. The Big Rock play of the day is Mason Miller over 5.5 Ks at +110. That's from our Rocco Rogers. Loshak's on the Reds first 5 at +140. And I doubled up on unders and Phillies Dodgers under 8 and under 4. There you go. Nutflesh Allen says, we'll tweet it out, but heavy lean to the Giants team total over. Heavy lean to the Giants team total over in that Giants Astros game. Very interesting. I'm gonna
Wow. Okay. All right.
not flush. Heavy lean to the SF team total over against Hunter Brown. DC Capper says, have you seen much out of the New York Knicks? Miami getting 6.5 points. Wow, I don't think the New York Knicks are that good of a team. How do you think of the New York Knicks? You know me, DC Capper. I took them to win the East at 33-1 and the chip at 100-1. I think they're deep. Deep as the ocean, baby. Will they be able to get through the Heat when Jimmy Butler is, playing like MJ? I don't know. I'm losing confidence. But, me, I like this Knicks squad. I think they're deep. I think they're tough. I think they're malleable. So that's my answer to that. All right. That is our show for today. Thank you, guys. Thank you to Jose on the 1s and 2s, the backbone of our show here and of our channel here at Pub Sports Radio. Thank you, Jose. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Jay, Troy Torrance, tell me you didn't just say that. The Sweaty Butcher, Razor Sharp Picks. Don't forget we have our giant day of horse racing. Yes, we do. Friday. That's Friday, baby. 10:15 a.m. both Friday and Saturday. That's our Kentucky Oaks special. And then on Saturday, the Kentucky Derby special. Both will start at 10:15 a.m. And I can't wait. Thank you guys so much for your support. Billy Friedrich, North Ender, Nutflush Allen, DC Capper, Dave Burke, Berkey, baby. Burn 1 has Lakers in 7. Max Swelly, Rick J, Tori Coker, Marcus R, Andrew G, Chili Dog Dooley. Thank you guys. Piker, Equinimus, Darren Turner, Brian Watson, Jake Burns. We have nothing without you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Trans Canada, G Martinez, all of you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us here. It means everything to us. So there's Nasty Nate in the house. Now it's time to get that fucking money. We swept last week. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep cashing. Follow Pistol Pete's example. Pete, any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
I hope everyone has a positive day betting with their picks, but this time I'm going to say especially me because I'm feeling nervous as hell about my overall card today, Jimmy the Bag. Nervous as hell. Except for the Dallas one. That I'm feeling okay. And if it loses, I'll be fine. Everything else, I'm like, man, I might be on the wrong side of every fucking thing I gave out. But we'll see. We had a great time. It was a fun as hell show. Shout out to Jose Bouquet for once again making this a great show to be part of.
Yeah, he's spectacular and so much fun. But imagine how much better of a hockey team you have to be. If you're going to win 35% of the draws or 33% of the draws, how much better you have to be than the opponent to win a game? I mean, it's mind-boggling how much better you have to be. And I'm not saying that Seattle's not capable of being that much better than Dallas, but that's very difficult. That is one tough hill to climb, mountain to climb. All right, let's fucking go. Let's stay locked in. Let's keep eating. Let's make that fucking money. Leche! Hey, Los bookmakers, milk that shit.